Yeah, the original raise was a straddle of 20, and then it was called C6 raise. Oh yeah, raise to 75, and then re-raise to 2 credits, folded back around. Can you rescan your card one more time?
All right, we're on. Welcome here to Monday Night 510 No Limit here at TCH Austin. If you guys are just joining us here from the final table that took place last night, the 500K guaranteed tournament final table. Unbelievable turnout that we had all across all our TCH locations. Hey, I'm Mike Emblett, joined by your boy AA Ron, Aaron McAvoy, super producer Carolyn. The super team has assembled. How we doing, friend?
Doing all right, man. Yeah, I was hoping to have made a deep run in that tournament. I just barely didn't make it to day two, and but it was great. We had quite a few players here from the Austin location advance, and then even some players that drove up and played with me on the Saturday flights. A couple of those players bagged up as well. So we had a pretty good showing from the Austin players, and obviously that tournament was absolutely lit. It was on fire. I mean, $1.25 million in that prize pool. That's just obnoxiously amazing. So
yeah,
pretty badass.
1,780 total entries. A prize pool of 1,200 or 1,246,000. Just absolutely bonkers. But the action always bonkers here in our 510 game as we take a look around a table of legends. Joining us here as always as we start with a PLO bomb pot, and we'll see Chaz with the naked ace of hearts boots, looks like with a straight flush draw. And as we look amongst the field of hands, it really only looks like a set of sixes here for Chaz.
Yeah, bottom set for Chaz does have that ace, so he can also rep some flushes if he doesn't boat up and things start to look like he needs to go that direction. But let's see if anybody else has anything to go with besides Boots. Boots is the one who's going to come out and bet here 125 with the up and down straight flush draw. Does have a pair of eights as well. And these two players are just going to go heads up, and that's a pretty blanky card right there.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to improve anybody, but over here, the Boots, who's not going to fire.
Yeah, still just sitting on a pair of eights and no other significant draw besides the straight flush draw, and can also be a little bit concerned that Big Daddy Chaz can not only have like a made hand, but also be drawing to a better flush. So he's just going to bet and see if he can get his opponent to fold down just like a two-pair type hand or something, but that is not going to happen. And we're going to get a five of spades here on the end, which is going to give Boots the straight, though. And this is actually better for him than a heart because he has the stone colds right now.
Nutter Butters in a pot of about 1,400. See what the cost of the ticket to Value Town is going to be here by Boots. As it looks like probably like 900 or so, or is it going to go up even just under a pot size bet that looks like 1,200?
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to ever have bluffs on this, you're going to probably want to go for the full pot size, which Boots just about does there, 1.3 and a 1.4, just to get maximum fold equity because, you know, if your opponent did have some sort of combo draw similar to yours, you know, maybe two pair with the nut flush draw, I don't know, they'd probably be raising you as well. So I don't know exactly. The PLO hands are just tough to really, like, gauge.
They're really tough to be able to put into a concise nature as to, like, I feel like once you are in the PLO world, like, of the standard bets that are made by either beginning players or any many players, it's just pot. Like, and what you generally tend to see is some level of varying sizing, I think, within some of the really good PLO players that are trying to create bets that are max value, but also can kind of fold out the really weak draws. Whereas I have more appreciation for that because I think if you just mash the pot button, then I just think you're like a one-trick pony, and that doesn't impress me much.
That's true, but there's also something to be said for the fact that because it is a pot limit game, there's no overbetting, which overbetting only factors in certain scenarios, but there's plenty of them, right? Like they may be sort of these nuanced spots, but you are going to want to be able to go for those those oversized bets. And if
Oh,
you
yeah.
just can't do it, then it's like, all right, well, here's a spot where if I'm going to have my best value hands and some bluffs, like that's going to go for this big size. All right, the biggest I can go is pot. There you go.
I disagree. No, you're fine. I'm with you right there on that. And that is kind of the mystery still. Once we get into the double board bomb pots, then all the other rules go right out the window because you're dealing with an entirely different form of poker than even just pot limit Omahas. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
all right,
Yeah.
we got Nick from Yuma, our boy Nick from Yuma saying hi, Aaron. What's up, Mikey? What's going on at Decept Media Production? We have so many folks piling on. A Jedi Master Ted, the usual suspect. Mac, Trambam, thank you, ma'am. All right, there's Uncle Eli.
Yeah, heads up to a flop here. Big Daddy Chaz and Eli go check on the flop after Big Daddy Chaz was the pre-flop raiser. And so checking twice here definitely indicates marginal made hand. Yeah, now we get his card scanned in. He does have a pair of deuces, and that makes a lot of sense. And so now that he's checked 2 streets and his opponent is now betting this queen, there's definitely a time where he can check call. And it's going to be pretty marginal on the river. If it doesn't go check, he's probably just going to have to fold it. But let's see what Eli does here with the ace high. It's a third check from Big Daddy Chaz, and yeah, I think you just have to go for it here. Somewhere around 2/3 pot. If this is only 175, this might not be quite big enough. Problem is that spade coming through doesn't really hit Eli. Eli is very likely to bet a flush draw on the flop when checked to. So it's probably not a flush, but okay, maybe the sizing could work out for a queen every once in a while, or a weak king. I don't know. Let's see if Big Daddy Chaz can see through this and put in the call, or does let it go.
Wow. He is going to put in the call, and Chaz's deuces.
Yeah, that hero call just killed Eli and his
Yeah, like it
camera.
totally wiped out the screen. I mean, that is how powerful this man is, that his calls generate so much gravity that it just messes with our connection levels. Or otherwise, E may be somewhere in the building. That might be a possibility.
Oh, that's
we love
right.
it.
Eli also.
Oh,
know.
the transfer of power back
Perhaps.
to Uncle Eli, of course. Don't get caught by surprise there, like Mr. Eli there. If you are in need of a personal injury lawyer, our friend EliReed.com. His firm, I just always love giving him a shout out. And it's just it's like a completely direct promo here for a guy that's done some commentary here with us. But Mike Emlet, Aaron McAvoy here, 5'10", with the 20 straddle. Really great lineup here, all things considered. There's a couple of folks that couldn't quite make it in, but yeah, I got no complaints. This is still a pretty good table here for the most part.
Yeah, and I think there's really no reason why we shouldn't get these seats filled. I know when I walked in the door, there were... Yeah,
we got people.
We saw there were plenty of names on the list. The originals that were slated to take these spots maybe had some issues or whatever getting here. So, yeah, we'll get those filled in, and I guess maybe we just have one spot that's unfilled at the moment. Yeah, so we'll be all maxed out here before long, but we do have a raise and a 3-bet here, and it looks like we're getting a call. So looking to go heads up to a flop here. We will get the action tracker all caught up here in a moment.
Yeah, we had Jeremy. Yeah, Jeremy opened this new fella here, putting in a 3-bet and a call. So,
and there's Colby. Oh, he folded. Okay.
yeah. There's just like we just wanted to show you Colby here. It's
And
like, hey,
there's
check
Colby.
him
Oh,
out.
there he
He's
is
so
again.
stoic and ready for the next hand that he's here observing. So, Urim, the one to put in the 3-bet in position. Jeremy had opened. So, what do you think Jeremy's hand is? He opens to 75.
And Urim was the one who 3-betted up to the 235. There we go.
Yeah, we're playing guess the hand here with Jeremy right now. I think like ace queen or
9-8 of hearts.
okay,
is
not
my
even
guess.
close. I had a natural blocker out there, and I still went right for it. So
You
I
sure
think
did.
I got to quit the show, Aaron.
No,
Right.
you did. You did.
No,
fine.
okay, all right, fine.
And that's a beautiful flop for 9-8 of hearts, I must say.
That is exactly what you're looking for here. As Urim, it looks like a first timer here on the show. Gonna go ahead and check back. 7 ball on the turn. Still, we'll put Jeremy way out in front. Does
I bet at 1,000 I think you're
Yeah, Jeremy definitely going to go for value now. No reason not to after your opponent checks back to you and the board pairs second card. That's really good for you. And you can just take it down, deny your opponent all the equity that he may have, and just take it down. There it is.
Shout out to Alan Pichatello here in the chat. That it's fun seeing him out here for to play out that 500K guarantee. We had about a couple of really good flights and pretty good turnouts here at TCH. So it was good to see who was hopping all in. Like you said, like there's a really nice Austin contention up there. So a heck of a turnout this weekend, and we'll continue the nonstop roaring action that is TCH Live. Over 16,100 subscribers, streaming 6 nights a week. 3 nights here in Austin, 3 nights in Dallas. And it never just ceases to blow my mind exactly where this has all gone in a short amount of time. Thanks to the fun, awesome people like you that continue to support this stream night in and night out. There's Jeremy opening. Eli's coming here with a 3-bet.
Yeah, Jack 9 of spades here against an early position open. This is going to face some resistance like a fair bit of the time, but Jack 9 of spades definitely a hand that can go for this 3-bet. Jeremy now in kind of a tough spot as he would be playing this out of position with a disconnected 9, or a disconnected ace, I should say. He's suited, so I guess he's going to come along, and he is going to play this one first to act as we go heads up. 535 in the pot. Queen 9-3. Once again, Jeremy gets pretty much the best flop that he could ask for, although the queen is maybe the one card he didn't want to see. But with the diamonds out there, he is not going to be sweating it at all.
Yes, Jeremy here with the best of it. Going to put out, what, like just under half-size pot bet at 200. Eli. Interesting that he checked that back after being the 3-better there in that spot, but I think he's also maybe just considering some of the Queen X hands, maybe any pairs above 9s that would maybe just decide to flat that spot. But
yeah, I mean, if you're going to bet, you want to have an intention about what you're attempting to accomplish, and betting the 9s with a jack kicker there is like super thin to try to get value from like 8s. You know, and like 8s, 7, 6s are very likely to just fold this because they're not going to be able to withstand another barrel. So there's really not a lot of there's just not a lot of value in betting a hand like Jack 9. Yeah. And I think Eli just recognized that, so he does check it back. Then Jeremy leads for 200, gets called on the turn, and now after a check, Eli is like, okay, maybe I can go for value here as my opponent has now slowed down on the end. Still a little bit strange, like if you had that mentality of like I should check back sometimes on the flop with this type of hand, get to the river.
It will drive Jeremy out in the end. Yeah, that was a really unique hand that I have questions on, but it's kind of one of those, I think, flow of the game type of deals where, yeah, Eli just kind of recognized the spot that I think, like, by the body language I'm picking up and how this is played out, like, I could probably take this away, but
I don't think Eli was trying to steal anything there. I think he was actually betting for value, thinking his pair of 9s was good, and I mean, that was just actually sort of bizarre. I'm trying to, like,
what was going through each, because I think we have the benefit, obviously, when we see what Jeremy's hand in that spot is, but if he's not really played a ton with Eli, he can't quite put down maybe what he's repping, but with the run out that came the way it did, I don't know. Maybe there are some things we're not made to understand, Aaron. We just got to give up and just say, that I think it's the default is Texas poker.
Some things happen.
You just sort of default to like, I don't know if that made sense. You're like, Texas poker.
Right, you are.
And that's fine. I think that's beautiful, to be honest. So.
Yeah, I saw a lot of Texas poker this weekend. I saw a lot of Texas poker this weekend.
That's special. It was a pretty good. You're saying it was a pretty good tournament field, the ideal one that you'd like to.
Oh, it was fantastic. Oh, absolutely. I can't wait for the next one.
All right. We went 4 ways with this Bones here with the best of it up against Sparks and Colby. That's
Yeah, here's a spot where an effective second pair can go for a bet, and Bones is going to do so. This is largely because you want to just like take this down instantly if you can. Like if your opponent's called you with like ace 10, exactly like Colby has, you just want them to fold now. You don't want them to hit their card on the turn. And you know, a lot of the time you're still ahead as well with just the 1 over card, so you're not really afraid of getting check raised. And if you do, okay, so be it.
Now there, Chris Sparks going to make the call here to 110 as 455 in the middle is going to be a 9 of clubs, completely blanks, which had Colby just recklessly stayed in there, he would have had ace-high clubs, but nonetheless, see if Bones will go for the check back, queen pairs on the end, and
yeah, that is a really good card for Bones. That has just made him feel a lot better about the strength of his hand at this point. And now Sparks with the pair of 4s should just be checking this and hoping that Bones will just check it down and give up, or perhaps, you know, go for a small bluff. But I think Bones is going to go for value here, and that could get Sparks into some trouble. I mean, Sparks called this out of the straddle, so he's going to have a lot of the 4s and 3s that Colby wasn't going to have. So yeah, Bones is recognizing this and trying to get called.
and maybe some ace-highs here too, that, I mean, it would be a really weird float maybe with ace-5 or ace-deuce, but there's at least enough hands that he can confidently kind of sit there and go, you know what, I probably should have the best of us based on how it's played out. Like, I don't think there's any deceptively strong hands, and or graphics showing the opposite here. It was Bones making the 350 bet and Sparks who had checked first, but if you've been listening to the fine folks here, we've got it. We're on top of it. So nonetheless, Bones going to pick up the pot as we continue here 5-10 night on TCH Live. We are also keeping our eyes on the bad beat jackpot currently across all the clubs at $24,678 currently. And that's all 4 TCH locations: Dallas, Austin, Houston, and Rio Grande Valley. And we are also doing high hands of the hour here at TCH, which I have got to do a double check here on what the jackpot is at currently. But high hands. All right, so
1144 for the high hand. Wow, that's fantastic stuff, man.
yeah, $100 rollovers each and every hour. So that'll go on here from 4 p.m. to midnight. So we'll see if we get any really like high-level, monster-level hands that might also be picking up a little extra dollar bills, y'all. As
Yeah, the better the hand, the more money you get. So come on down to TCH Austin and try to get yourself a piece of the action. These two players are going to get tangled up in some action. We got Big Daddy Chaz against Eli here. Hijack against early position. And Big Daddy Chaz is going to flop pretty good. It is
decent.
Monotone, but he does have top pair and an open ender. So unless his opponent has a club, he is going to be good a lot of the time. He's going to go ahead and bet out here. And Eli with an under pair to these little babies. Does have a gutter, but with no club. He's just going to show it and muck it.
probably reflect on the deuces hand where he got picked off there by Chaz. So it's like, no, I can't track you down here with this. So
Eli had a big hand against.
no, remember that ace 3 and then Chaz had the deuces like one of the first couple.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Today.
So
okay.
like Eli had the shoe on the other foot and was like, oh, look how the turntables, as Michael Scott would say.
How the turn.
Look at all the turntables. So, all right. Again, we've got our WPT Steps tournaments both Tuesdays and Sundays. We had an overlay for this past Sunday, but yeah, hey, it was a lot happening. Again, we also have the high hand rollovers tomorrow night from 4 p.m. to midnight. Coming up next Monday is National Poker Day, so you remember here you get 50% off all day next Monday night. So I'm sure there should be some cash game folks out here ready to save themselves some money. Does appear going to open. We got Jeremy calling and Ureem saying, hey, I got a suited king. Why the hell not? Here we go. There's pure pairs. It's not an easy thing to say. Pure pairs, pure pairs. Try to say that many times there.
Maybe
That's
pure pairs, pure.
Pures.
Pure
All
pairs,
pure?
pure.
All pure, pure.
All pure.
That's
Yes. We need some all
that's
pure
the, that's the off-brand of All Pure. Pierre, brand ambassador of All Pure.
Yeah, careful drinking that stuff, man. You'll go blind in an instant.
And the purest of fashion. All right, that's the middle pair here by Reem. Jeremy also going to float here with some backdoors. And, well, there's one, but
yeah,
looking
Jeremy,
more for a heart or an eighth. Or
yeah, and picking up a pair is like the most awkward way to continue this hand because, like, yeah, you do have 5 outs to beat an ace, but, like, that's not great. Wow, okay, look at that. Yareem is the one who comes out on top of this one as he finds a deuce on the end. Pierre checking it back on the turn, allowing this 3 river card to come off, and Yareem now reaching for chips, stacking up what looks like a 2/3 pot size bet with his trips. And Pierre with no kicker to speak of. He's playing the 9 on board, so he chops with all of the other rag aces and loses to ace 10, ace jack, and like the random ace queen that didn't 3-bet pre. So yeah, now he's trying to figure out if this is a spot where he should be calling. I think you do have to call. It's kind of weird, especially being the man in the middle here with Jeremy still to act left behind. But like you kind of can't fold. It's just obnoxious, and he's going to find out like that he lost this in the weirdest way. Not just like to an ace 10, right?
Right,
like, okay, I lost
It's
ace
like,
10.
let me play that back here.
Yeah.
He's going to give him the Brooklahoma eyes after the one time coins flat, or I think floated him on the flop with like king 3 of hearts and the queen 10 like 7 board. And he gets to showdown, and you can just see the look in his eyes of like, I don't know what I just saw. But either way, I can't believe what I just saw here, Aaron. Only 28 likes on our video right now here on our live stream. Come on, let's go ahead. Come on, let's go smash that like button.
I gotta pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
Yeah, absolutely rookie numbers. Thank you for all that you do here. Hitting the like button and do it for us tonight if you would.
Yeah, and if you also want to show some love and get a special shout out, you can hit us up here with a super sticker or super chat. Certainly appreciate you all sharing the links, getting the good word out. Here about TCH Live as we continue blasting forward 6 nights a week. And Chaz opening, Bones calling. See if any hands out along the 20 straddle here will continue to hop along.
Yeah, I think it would have been like really funny if I had just like hired a personal photographer to just like sit there and take pictures of me throughout the course of the tournament up in Dallas.
Oh yeah.
Because, you know, speaking of that like look on your face of like what the hell did I just see? I'm sure I could have had like an entire collage of me just like
really
what the actual fuck was that?
Hands up in your head, it's just the look of your soul leaving your body at moment's notice sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's that's the breaks of the game. As not much developing here between Bones and Chaz. Chaz completely not connecting with this board in any meaningful way with Ace King. Bones going to put out a bet and track him right on out of here as Rob P. Smash the like greater than gently tap the like. Let's see, Nick from Yuma saying all pure. Jedi Master 10 says that's the French version of all pure. All Pierre.
Oh, yeah.
All Pierre. And sometimes, okay.
I like it.
But we invite you all to join us here with the chat pros amongst us. Here is another rip-roaring edition of TCH Live with $5, $10, $9, $20 straddle. They have a really good lineup here, too. So,
yeah, absolutely. And just one more spot to fill, which I believe should be any moment now. Oh, Bones got the little bottle of wine over there. Nice. And a couple of empty shooters over on the rail there, too. So,
yeah, I came here to play. Came here to have a good time.
I mean, we can't attribute those necessarily to Bones, but they're in his vicinity.
Sometimes they're
so
like trophies, I think, too.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, I have downed my first C4 energy drink, so it means the second one's right around the corner, just sort of maximum caffeine and non-stop effort here. It is the fuel that, well, what do you got there? The dose?
The dose. The 2 X's up in here. That's what we be drinking right now. Colby here with a couple of 8s. Jeremy, ace 10. Jeremy is going to flop 3rd pair, but the best of it. And Colby was like, cool, cool. That was the flop I was thinking of when I opened my 8s to 80. And that's that's the turn that I was thinking of as well. So perfect, perfect. And Jeremy is like, I have 2 pair here. Any queen beats me. And Jeremy folded to that one bet on the river with 2nd pair nut kicker. Let's see how he plays this one. He is just going to flat the 90 here. And Colby is probably like, cool. Yeah, no, I'm done with this. Unless he's got a cape on underneath that hoodie and he's going to go for a big blasto here. But no, he is just going to give up. Jeremy will show the 2 pair. And Colby's like, yep, that's good.
All right, Dick from USA and Los Pollos, Hermanos, a.k.a. Broth Tequila Shots. I would be down to doing it again if we really did hit that 350 marker. I mean, I will sacrifice myself for it. I don't know if you can handle it.
Yeah, I don't know.
If you want to sit this one out, I mean, by all means, I will. I may even do yours for you. It's be like.
Nice, dude.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mic. Okay, my mic is too close, or it's trying to keep a healthy.
Well, it's one or both of us. I'm not sure, so we'll find out.
Oh
from
yeah.
the
Oh, I'm
chatters.
sorry. I got hungry and I just ate the microphone because I'm a savage person.
You are a savage.
Really, just not well.
I look like a jackass.
Can't have a Texas show without quoting King of the Hill.
Well, that's true.
It's a really missing ingredient here from our show. All right, we got Jeremy opening here to 120.
Yeah, this is on a $40 straddle, so this is a 3X open, fairly standard boots. Going to call out of the small blind with a couple of 7s. Eli in there, suited 5-4. And Bones not doing it with the Jack 5 off suit. 3 ways to a flop. Nice little monotone King 9-3 here. Nobody controls a heart, which means whoever bets at this is very likely to just win it. Another heart on the turn. That does give Jeremy a pair, so 2nd pair is best. And Eli will look at his hand once again and be like, yeah, I have 5 high and spades, so I'm just going to bet and see if I can win, because this is literally the worst hand anyone has ever had on this board.
Pretty much, like, recorded history, it's Mike Eli's hand, and probably one of, like, Scotty Wynn's hands, so all kidding aside, as continue here on TCH Live, go ahead, crush that like button for us, click subscribe. As you may have been joining us earlier in the 500K guarantee tournament, it finished on Sunday, so it was going to be starting at like 2 or 3 in the morning, so it opted to record the footage and then come back here today, pump in the live commentary, talk with the crowd, and it looks like it was a 3-way chop, which I imagine, I think everybody here on TCH is like, hey man, that's quite a notch in our belt to be able to coordinate between the 3 clubs and have a really successful tournament. So
hell, 4 clubs, right? I mean, RGV, Houston, Dallas, and us. Yeah, I mean, that was a real feat of poker engineering, really, is what it was. All came together, and I think the top dog came out with over 210K off of $800 buy-in tournament.
How many bitcoins do you think he's going to buy with that?
I mean, he could
convert it all
get
the
a
way
few.
to Doge or XRP, or is he going to spend it all at some fancy record player? I don't know.
I vote for the fancy record player personally.
That's really the investment you have to make.
Yeah. An old 8-track maybe.
Yeah.
Just for good
It's the
measure.
purest of sounds.
It really is. It's got all of it. Jeremy here is going to turn the unbeatable hand. Pair of aces as Bones is sitting on 8 high, no draws, nada.
Nothing.
And he will check fold. Jeremy will take it down.
So again, this is our showcase game here for ETX. As Mondays, and then Aaron, you're hosting the show Thursdays, 2-5 match stack if you're interested in playing in that game. You'll read our bottom line here. You can email TCH Live List, texascardhouse.com, or you can text that awesome phone number there, 512-843-1971. And the same goes here for the Monday game. So if you're looking to take a shot, if you're traveling from out of town, hey, we'd like to hear from you. And as always, you can play in our Steps tournament, WPT Step 1. On Sundays, our Mega Stack Freeze at 7K Guaranteed tournament. That starts at 2 p.m. on Sunday here at TCH Austin. So monthly main event on the last Sunday of the month. So we got the hand brewing here. Looks like Jeremy open, Boots flatting, Bones folding to Dan Grimes, and Colby tagging along here with the ace-4. So.
Yeah, a little bit of a tricky spot to navigate for Colby. I mean, this is like he was getting kind of a decent price, but how often is your ace not just completely dominated, as in this case? But he is going to complete. He's going to whiff this one really hard, which is going to happen a lot of the time. Jeremy here has made second pair. Was the pre-flop aggressor, but a similar situation to before, and now even a little bit more so because of the fact that we've gone multi-ways. He is just going to check it, and I think that's the smart move. Boots is going to go ahead and bet his top pair top kicker, and Jeremy will oblige him with a check call. But I think he's navigating this well so far. Off to a turn. Let's see if he can pick up 2 pair. He will not. 6 of spades here on the turn. Boots just got to fade an 8 or a 7 if we do see a river card, but he is going to go for value once again.
Pretty straightforward here so far. I mean, it's...
Yeah, top pair versus second pair. And if Boots wants to get maximum value, he shouldn't go too big here. However, if his opponent is going to check back a hand like a Jack-9 or a Jack-10, then he can go for a bigger bet. He's going to go 450, and this is maybe on the top end of what a pair of 8s can call you with. But Jeremy definitely not going anywhere. Again, all of this comes down to who your opponent is and how you think they're playing. It's all not just computers playing each other. And there you go. Boots going to improve to top 2 pair on the end. And if Jeremy had any aspirations of calling a third barrel, he may think twice after that card peels off.
And that, yet again, is our weekly segment we call Just the Tip with Dr. Aaron.
Just the tip? Just the tip. Just the
tip. What a fantastic clip that is.
You can use a lot of Archer's show, I think, for a lot of comedic relief. So, well, Boots going for the full barrel here, 1,500, and it's very unlikely Jeremy's in a position to think any of his hands. I mean, there are maybe some straight draws he can anticipate betting that he missed, like 10-9, 9-7, but he's obviously blocking 9-7, so there's oh my God, he is not a believer.
He very much is not. So, I mean, I don't hate it, right? So, like, Jeremy, the 7 isn't a great card to have, but of all of his all of his second pair combos that he can bluff catch with, that one really wasn't bad at all because it didn't have any of the spades for the backdoor flush draw that came in on the turn, and didn't interact with the 9-10, the queen 10s of the world that could have been bluffing. So, yeah, it's definitely ambitious, but he thought that his opponent was up to no good. I'm sure he has some experience playing with Boots and was like, no, this guy's going to bluff a lot, and I'm going to call a lot, and this time I'm just going to lose.
Yeah, and I don't know how often Jeremy gets to play. I know he works in the medical field, so he is a sharp dude, but you know that's the tough part, I think, of playing in this game is you got to be able to do it often per week and get familiar with some of the tougher players here, and you can get thrown in kind of spots like that where you could get locked into seeing something one way, and then sometimes it just totally changes your perception enough to go like, okay, maybe I looked at this wrong.
Well, I mean, the other side of the coin, too, is that, like, how many hands does he have that he opens and then just check calls 3 streets, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
right.
Yeah, maybe he's going to have some Jack-9, some Jack-10 that he's going to do that with. He's not just going to, like, barrel off with his top pairs all the time. And so if those are the only other hands that he has, then what are his other hands? Maybe 9s, 10s, and those are going to be folds on the river because they interact with the 9-10. So then it's like, all right, I got my 8s, and what are the best ones? 8-7. So it's honestly his best second pair hand that he can call down with. Besides maybe ace-8, right? I guess
Right.
ace-8 and then the 8-7. So maybe ace-8 should call and 8-7 should fold. I don't know. All of that kind of comes down to the nitty-gritty, and you start splitting hairs. But at the end of the day, he does go for it. And
we're all about splitting
runs
hairs
into
here,
it.
Aaron. If we could just
Split 'em.
make a mountain out of a molehill, you know, we'll try to do it. No, I can't. But
all right, Boots going to go
Yeah.
ahead and open this one up. Looks like 140 on a $40 straddle. Over and around through the button and into the blinds and straddles, and nobody has anything worth playing, so they all just let it go.
hold on, Aaron. We've got our first Mike Postle joke.
I'm Michael Jordan. Stop it. Get some help.
Stop it, get some help.
Yeah, get some help. That's okay. We appreciate all your chat pros hopping along with us. If you would like to leave us a comment if you're watching here on the archive. Otherwise, grace your presence towards that like button. Your official way to punch your ticket into the show. And if you'd also like to get a special shout out, you can do so here with a super sticker or super chat.
I'm not going to lie. I thought you were about to play me a Mike Postle joke.
No,
Not
no.
that we had one in the chat, and that's like why you were doing that.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
that was
It's tough to
a Mike
coordinate
Postle
these
joke that
things
went
as we
right over
figure
my
it
head. But now I get it.
That's all right. I just love that commercial, though. It's like a very early Michael Jordan in a McDonald's commercial, and he's just like, stop it. Get some help. And that's been memed all across the internet. So once it's in the meme sphere, Aaron, it never leaves. So
And it's fair game in every possible scenario within which a person could use it. That was a good one. I like that better than all the others.
You're being kind. But as we continue here, we've got a $20 and a $40 double straddle on. Looks like a couple of new players here, Neeme and Ryan joining us here in the game. Pretty much everybody else here has been an established legend or OG here of the stream. It's kind of weird if we don't see Chaz here on a Monday or we don't see Bones. Sparks, certainly the guy. Oh, wow, we've got our first pair of aces here as lucky day for Boots here under the gun. Going to go ahead and pop this one up to 150.
Yeah, as he plows down a bag of chips, too, so just sort of nonchalantly like, oh, yeah, no, I just raise and then eat my chips. And who's got something? Well, Neeme has a hand that can actually do pretty good against aces if it finds the right flop. And if it doesn't find the right flop, then it'll just fold and not give aces a lot of money. However, he does make a pair, so that is not a great flop for the 8-6 because he may just indeed put a few more chips in the middle. Boots C-bets for 100, and this is just under 1/3 pot. So, yeah, you're not going anywhere just yet. Neeme looking to find an 8 or a 6. And it's a jack of clubs, so Boots still best.
Well, it's a smash top set here on the end, too, for good measure. So, does he get a nickel here out of Neeme? Gonna try, but this... Unfortunately, he's just paired with no hand. So,
yep. Yeah, not quite the same situation as last time in terms of the value of the bluff catcher. Their pair of eights with
like,
6 kickers, like, no, I can just fold, and I don't feel bad about it.
It's okay. You can just fold sometimes, but you might not want to do that around our Texas Card House. There's our bad beat jackpot. Almost 25K in it currently between all clubs. You want to get all the details on that, check our website, texascardhouse.com. All of our rooms and beats. As we continue here in our 5-10 edition. Mike Gimblett, Aaron McAvoy, super producer Carolyn, as always. As this is how people spend their Monday nights here, man. Gathered around the YouTube and the series of tubes that does make the internet. Some good old-fashioned Texas poker down here. All right, what do we got? Chaz opening under the gun with a hand We do not know. Colby, near the cutoff and might be thinking about a 3-bet.
Yeah, this is a hand where you're most likely going to want to go for a 3-bet, and he does. It can get tricky because under the gun opens are going to push back at you pretty decently in terms of frequency, but doesn't mean that you want to just like start, playing everything as a call and trying to just limp along. Big Daddy Chaz going to take a peek over, find out exactly what his opponent is working with in terms of a stack before he decides what he's going to continue with. Scans his cards in, and he's got ace-4, and if he's going to continue with this one, I think it's with a 4-bet, and Colby not going to like that. But let's find out if I'm true, if that's true or not.
You done messed up, A-Rod.
Well, you say that, but I was correct. I
was
messed up
too
because
late
words
on
are
that.
hard.
Like, I
but,
was just way too late. That's
words are hard, but
Words
this
are
4-bet was coming. And now it's on to Colby, who has to figure out if this very small raise is worthy of fear. And he says no, pretty quickly puts out this call. And this is like this weird battle of these two hands that
Right.
neither one of them really wants to just call and play. Like they only want to raise and win or
take the upper hand, and it's just going to be a
Oh,
potential disaster. There are some backdoor space potentially here for Colby with top pair with Big Daddy Chaz. Top and bottom pair, aces and 4s. And with already 2K here in the middle, Colby with less than 3.6. There are probably a number of favorable turn cards that could come for him that could get him, could force him to maybe stick more money than he would maybe want to in this.
Yeah, he needs a 7, a 10, a spade, or a card bigger than a 4 to peel off that give him some additional equity, but
Right.
he's certainly not folding this hand, and there's no reason to play it as a raise as you have just called. And as I say that, Colby goes for the raise.
Ooh.
This is how you set yourself up for piling all of your chips in behind. As Big Daddy Chaz now is like, I mean, what do you got?
Well,
a set
talk
of
about
sevens or
that
something?
belief that Chaz took, that he put in the 4-bet to 950. You have what was like a 4th pot size bet or so first act.
520.
And that looks like it induced Colby to try to take a stab at this. So I don't know if that was deliberate in trying to bait Colby into making a move like this, but
Colby shouldn't do it no matter what the bet size is, to be quite frank, because Big Daddy Chaz
fold out, I guess, is the...
Well, Big Daddy Chaz just has such a range advantage. All right, let's take
got
a look
it in.
at this.
8, 7. Oh, Colby gets lucky.
Colby bailed out.
And Chaz's 2-pair turns the dust as
Raise 400.
Colby going to profit over 4.6K in that pot. And
Wow.
yeah, that was certainly unusual. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
every part of that was what we just say, shrug Texas poker, I guess. But
no, I mean, I hate to say it, but that was definitely a shrug Texas poker moment right there. That is for sure.
Are we gonna have to patent that on like a shirt or something?
Hashtag Texas poker.
Yeah, hashtag like it's just the rules don't exist. You just pile money in, and then we'll see what happens. And that's, I think, why the poker boom is restarting here. As I don't know, you feel there. I think from around the clubs, there's just more people getting vaccinated, more people getting back into it. Streams are picking up everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, here in our location in Dallas, like it's every time I want to say there's some normalcy in the world, I'm reminded often that how still far away we are from getting towards there. But we're getting freaking closer, aren't we?
We are. We absolutely are. One day, someday.
We'll just be able to
We'll be
walk
there.
in here, no mask, chuck down a full beer,
Dude, this place is going to be so lit. It's going to be so fantastic to walk through these doors and see everybody's face
raw
again.
dogging air. Like, you're going to be able to raw dog air with your friends around you. They can be as close as they want. I still say stay 6 feet away from me, just not for safety reasons, but just
Well, more for their
under your
safety. You might
consideration.
bite them. I mean, you know.
Okay, I'll go down to 4 feet. Like, people get, like, just, you can't stare at me for too long. I'm a celebrity now. No, I kid. We're not of the type here. So Eli is just going to limp here under the gun after the double straddle here with ace-king suited. Colby going to tag along as well.
175.
Jeremy here with pocket fives, boots. I think Chaz is probably going to re-add on here. So
Yeah, Chaz just topping off, and let's see, we'll get his card scanned in. There we go. As he is going to check his option, as we had this all started off with some limps, or a limp from Eli under the gun, and everybody kind of squinting at that a little bit, so nobody willing to put in the raise. Here we are, 5 ways to this flop. Jack, 8, 7, Badoogie, Colby with the best of it. Eli must have been like getting tricky trappy, right?
yeah,
like
yeah. He was trying to limp because he probably just expects that, like, the way these tables have been going, like, somebody out of this group is going to pick up a hand that they might decide to do something with. But Colby resisted that temptation. That just limped right behind him here with the Jack King off, as the great Greg Goes All In would refer to it. That is the Greg Goes All In, the Jack King offsuit.
Yeah, sweet stuff.
If you get that reference, hit the like. All right, 6 of hearts rolls off as Eli decides to float this. I mean, perfectly reasonable. It's a terrible board for it nonetheless, but maybe he's got a bluffing opportunity here. Let's see if he tries to take a stab at it or just hope and pray for showdown.
Yeah, interesting that Colby checks back the turn. The Jack of Hearts. Maybe the Jack of Hearts not the most relevant card, but as it stands, he has set this up just about perfectly to get Eli to bluff at this. And yeah, there's pretty much no world within which Colby should be folding this. So I imagine he's just going to do his due diligence and then fold it. There it is.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. There's no hand. Okay, all right.
You done messed up,
Okay,
That was
right,
much
there
more
you go.
appropriate. Much more appropriate.
That's much more on point, or on task, or fleet, or whatever the heck it's called now.
I mean, no. So, like, obviously that was a scary board.
Sure,
There's a one-liner
yeah.
to a straight out there. Your opponent can have all kinds of stuff. A lot of those being straights and 2 pairs. So it's a fine fold, but
nobody's going to fault you for being wrong there at that. But that was pretty incredible timing for it, though, nonetheless.
No, it really was. It was perfect. But I really set myself up for it. So.
Yeah, I mean, I do it constantly on this show, so don't feel too bad. All right, we got a dealer change, so that looks like we're probably going to have ourselves, well, a bomb pot typically is what happens here, PLO bomb pot, if you want to play those. Here in all of our games here at TCH, 1, 2, and 2, 5, get your fixin' of PLO double board bomb pots. This is, how long do you think this phase is going to last? Do you think there's going to ever be a point where people are just sick of doing these, and they're like a year from now, they're like, bomb pots are outlawed? Like, this feels like a thing we're just going to keep continuing to do for a while, that it's a trend that's here to stay.
Yeah, I think what's more likely to happen is that people are going to get tired of playing Hold'em, and they're just going to be like, nah, we should just play Omaha all the time. Why are we even bothering with this stupid Hold'em game?
Yeah, 2 cards. But
I mean, I kid, and I'm also like, the ferocity with which people now play the PLO bomb pots, where when they first started, people
we're just
like,
no way, I would not
we're playing
do this.
Hold'em.
It's like, no way, 1 board, Hold'em. I'm a good old-fashioned, set your watch to my behavior kind of guy. Now it's like an addiction that I can't go a hand if I'm dealing, or it's like, hey, where's the bomb pot button? Like, Jesus Christ, we just had one a hand ago. Yeah. And it's just like crack. You got to give me that crack, man. Yeah. I mean, not literally, obviously, but nonetheless, it is. I mean, I'm not don't get me wrong. I'm not like trying to say it's a bad thing. It's just like you're always kind of trying to figure out in this poker world where things are going and what the path will continue to be with it. So a set of 4s here for Bones on this board. An ace is going to turn. It looks like it will give Eli top 2 here with a 7-high flush draw. Ryan has got king high diamonds and not much else. Big Daddy Chaz is a primo and just whiffed completely. King, Queen, Jack 10 double suited on this board. Just, oh, what do we got? Oh, we got a wheel here for Jeremy as well off to the right.
Yeah, with a redraw to the 9-high diamonds, which are second best to the king-high diamonds. But the king-high diamonds apparently have folded. So don't have to worry about those anymore. Jeremy does have the best hand at the moment. We get a board pairing card here on the end, which also is going to give Eli a full house. 7s full of aces. And he is just going to go ahead and flick out 400 here as that bet nearly crashed the computer.
Devastating the cameras right now. It's so much power being generated by that $500 river bet. And Bones here with a tough spot because he's got a lower full house, 4s full of 7s. But can you imagine maybe Eli turned aces full? Or it's... These are the spots that make it tricky, and he makes a correct laydown. And Jeremy here now stuck in... I think it's probably that turn bet that once Eli leads, he can probably safely assume there's some ace-7 or aces full there that are just totally smoking him in that spot. But
well, so did Eli bet the turn? Is that what happened? I thought that one just went
I'm trying to recall the best... Yeah, okay, Eli did bet the turn. It's one the thing that just knocked out the camera there because it had so much energy to it, Aaron. People don't understand. They give off aura and they give off vibes, and sometimes it messes with our electronics. So if you feel like you have the power, though, you can come on and play our stream. Check out our email, TCH live list at texascardhouse.com to contact us if you want to get on the list to play in this game, or text 512-843-1971. See if you have the kinetic energy to become a star here on the program, or just, hey, enjoy yourself.
Yeah, that camera is really just having a hard time, unfortunately. Maybe we'll have to go jiggle the cords or something.
Yeah, go blow, plug it, unplug it, blow into it.
I wasn't quite sure where you were going there for a second.
Wait.
So we're just done with phrasing, right? That's not a thing anymore?
All right.
Pull out the cartridge and blow into it. That's right.
Yeah, just like this operates very much like your Nintendo system did in 1992. So.
The good old days.
Yeah, the best days. So we'll continue here, TCH Live, Monday edition. For those of you joining us may have seen the 500K guarantee tournament pop off here this afternoon. We aired the playing of the final of it. Starting at like 4 o'clock Central this afternoon. So if you missed it, you can certainly go back and check that out on the archive. Leave that little like on the stream. And then we've crossed on over here into our 5-10 game night that we do each and every Monday night on TCH Live. So fairly healthy dose of straddles here as 20 and a 40. Now Bones first act with a raise up to 125.
Sparks with a suited wheel ace there, ace deuce of hearts. He isn't going to get spicy against the under the gun open. That one, yeah, some players are going to mix that into their 3-betting range. Other people aren't, so he's just going to let that one go. Eli here out of the, whatever that is, second, third straddle is going to call the king 10 of diamonds, and Ryan, I think, is priced in. So he will complete. 3 ways to a flop here. Bones with the best of it for the moment. 8 high flop, though. That's going to give Ryan the best hand, as he does have an 8 in hand.
Yes, sir. Bones looking to go for a C-bet here.
Yeah, 2 overs, and while his opponents did call him out of the blinds and straddles, it's still just no reason to just like...
You're in the 6-5 to 10-7 to random 2-card Broadway combo time, which typically, I think if you're on that board, that's kind of what you're assessing to be up against. And Ryan, though, does not flop him, and absolutely will make the call. We'll see what we get here once the 7 of spades rolls off here on the turn.
Yeah, nice little safe turn card here for Ryan's hand. And Bones now has to decide if he wants to represent an overpair for the rest of the hand, and he's not going to, so he is going to slow down with a check back, take a free river. It's a harmless 10 of spades. And Ryan here probably just check and go to showdown, which he does, and Bones will just continue giving up with the king high and let it go. So good restraint there from Bones, recognizing that he's just not getting his opponent to fold his hand, and there's no sense in blasting off. So
we'll continue here on TCH Live. Monday night, Mike Gimblett, Aaron McAvoy. You can follow me at Hoops Mike. Follow Aaron at Words Are Hard. You can follow all of our accounts here on the gram, tch.atx. Just for up-to-date info on things that are happening here within the tournament sector, which got an extra tournament that we added in on Tuesday, not to mention our Saturday 100 re-entry, which I think now the guarantee for first is 3,000. Yep, guaranteed is the 3K to first place in that $100 second chance tournament. So we'll make sure you guys stay on in the loop on that. And our WPT Step Series, again, happening each and every Sunday. All right, Bill, we got a couple of rockets here for Bones.
yeah, second time he's woken up with number 1. Jeremy has ace crackers, 5-4 of clubs. He's going to call. Boots will call as well with the Steam Dola number 1. Big Daddy Chaz out of the small blind calling as well. King Queen offsuit, and Ryan says, hell, why not? I mean, maybe I find 3 6s or something somehow. And here we go. Bones just loving to see this. 5 ways to a flop. And he is still best, so we do have Boots with the effective second pair, but not a lot of connectivity there for the remaining players.
Boy, it sounds like it must be on AT&T. Because it's talking about lack of connectivity.
Yes.
Yep. Shouldn't nickname one of the hands that. Probably the 9 Triz. I would call that the AT&T of hands, because you can never connect with it.
That's
That's
very
like my
true.
favorite John Oliver bit every weekend on last week tonight. It's just like continually bashing AT&T. I don't know if anybody will get the reference to that. Yeah. I just watch it on all the stuff on YouTube. So, all right, Boots gonna check here at Bones, and Boots heads up.
Oh.
And Jack rolls off, so Boots pulls ahead. All right, Bones now sees this board all connected together. I imagine he still enjoys his life and doesn't hate it, but he does hate this moment.
And Boots goes for this very small bet of 150. And they're having a little back and forth here laughing. He's like, yeah, I mean, I got it, and I know you're just going to have to pay me off. He probably could have gotten just a shade bit more out of Bones, but Bones is not the kind of guy to pay off big bets there with how connected that is. So, I mean, there's just so many 2-pair combos, straights, I mean, you name it. But he did get the max, the 150 out of Bones there, and Bones kind of laughing about it. But,
Yeah.
I mean, what do you do there with aces, right? I mean,
Yeah,
I think we all call.
everything about that just got worse as the hand went on. But all right, so we're an hour in. Again, we're at a little later start since we had the TCH Dallas final table stream go on until about 6:23. So we're just less than an hour in the stream. Still getting folks piled on in. If you haven't hit the like yet, go ahead and do so. It really does help. Appreciate all y'all's support as we continue. 2-5 on Thursday. We've got ladies' night on Friday night for 50% off. So if you're a lady, enjoy the game. Also, come on off for that PLO free roll that we do have here Fridays at TCH. All right, Jeremy opens here to 125. Colby, one of the big winners here in the game thus far. Chris, you're a pretty brutal suck out there on Chaz, but nonetheless is in the positive at the moment. All right, here we go. There's a gutter ball here for Jeremy. Not much happening for Colby on this other than some backdoors to either clubs or straight. So Jeremy may be able to just pick this up on a single bet, perhaps, or does Colby float in this particular spot?
Yeah, it's a float or even honestly a check raise. I'd like to see Colby mix that in every once in a while, but he's not going to go for it, and he is just going to turn like pretty much disaster card for him unless he finds another bailout. Because yeah, Jeremy here does hit the gutter, which gives Colby top pair, top kicker with the nut flush draw. My goodness! So that is the most action card that there was left in the deck.
That a 300 here by Jeremy. Colby
1300.
not going to go to berserk here. Just going to check call, which is totally reasonable spot. We'll see. Canada's good fortune continues here to the river. It looks kind of like a club. It looks like the 10 of clubs scanning.
Oh man.
Yeah.
If it's a 10, then it's got to be the club because the 10 of spades is in Jeremy's hand. And
I don't know why it's not scanning right now.
It's the 9 of clubs? Yeah, it's like the 9 of clubs is already out there.
There it is.
Oh my goodness. So Colby can do no wrong. He gets there on the end, makes the nut flush. Bets 530 now into a pot of just about 1100. Jeremy now, who had this just totally crushed on the turn, is now like, are you super serial, bro? Yeah, Colby is on fire, and Jeremy looks to be paying this off. As he does, Colby will show him the goods and drag that pot. 2.1K over in front of Colby, who's now up over 10.
Yeah, and running pretty solidly here in this game this evening, but nonetheless the action continues. Aaron, I got the 2-5 game on Thursdays. How's that game been going anyway? 'Cause it seems like when I do get to catch it, like we're getting some pretty good action on the film.
Yeah, good action, definitely, and been having some fun getting different people here in the booth with me. I had Gordon in a couple of times in the last few months. I've had Steam Dola, and then I had J-Stack in here last time. That was a lot of fun, as the mind of J-Stack and the analysis that he had, and like well, I would have raised this hand, or I would have done this, that, the other thing was just, I mean, we were having a blast. I was laughing my ass off, and it was also giving me a little bit of a headache because that man operates.
He had a very different frequency amongst all poker players. It's like, what, 10-5 suited? That's a raising hand there, buddy.
Yeah, he's like, no, you got to raise this hand right here because it can do these other things. And I was like, those are things that you think those cards can do that I would have never even imagined.
I saw him out in the main room that day, and he just was walking by. I'm like, hey, how's it going? It's just like, I'm just trying not to pass gas in the booth. And I'd be like, well, you'd be the first who didn't. So I got a laugh out of him for it. So
Nice.
Or something alluding to everybody else has failed to stop. So, all right, here we go. It's Queen High Hearts for the Big Daddy Chaz. Colby with 2 pair, 8s and 3s.
Fairly innocuous flop here for a couple of 8s. Big Daddy Chaz with the 2 overcards and the Queen High flush draw. Definitely a hand that he's going to continue with. That's out what looks like 180. It is. I don't think Colby should be going anywhere just yet. And he is reaching for calling chips. Off to the turn we go with the equities just about split right down the middle. Big Daddy Chaz looking for a heart, an overcard, maybe a 9, something like that. He is going to get an ace, so that is going to give him some additional outs.
Straight draw here to a king.
And the ace is just really good for Big Daddy Chaz's range, so he's going to continue betting this a lot of the time, especially with the hand that he has. So let's see if he goes for almost full pot size or even an over bet.
Plays every Wednesday, owns a restaurant, owns part of Palms.
It looks like he's actually going small, so 360 here. And 360 I guess I'm not too sure.
Yeah, that's almost like a half-size pop bet or so, wasn't it? Because then it would
A little
take
under.
three.
I feel like this is a spot where you size up, but maybe he just recognizes that he doesn't need to get the same job done, and he's certainly right about that as Colby lets go of the pair of eights without any further resistance. So Big Daddy Chaz just puts out a little 40% pop bet or so out there, just takes it down.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember all the characters we've had on Thursday. Caitlin Gordon or Gordon. They had the youngster, but
Preston,
he was
hell
good.
yeah.
I
He did
caught
great.
some of it. He seemed like he kind of knew his stuff. So.
And Preston, if you're in the chat, make yourself known because, yeah, that was awesome. I had a really good time.
Episode. I was like, I wasn't able to catch all of it. I just kind of could pop in a moment and I could tell, like, this seems to be, like, going well. So.
Yeah, I had a great time hanging out with Preston that week when he joined me in the booth. Just playing with him, bringing back, reliving the good old days, you know. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And, of course, we wish him the best out there in California.
Oh, we went to California?
Yeah.
Okay. I see. It wasn't here for long. He's just out there crushing souls, I imagine.
Well, he was telling me about what his school was doing.
Oh, okay.
That was just off the charts. Like, I mean, you know, it's a joke that some people make or whatever, but this is actually absurd. They were, like, as certain places are starting to, like, relax things.
Hey, you could go into restaurants now. Like,
They went the other direction, where it was like he used to be able to go to school and do his classes online, just like any normal person would.
Right.
And now they would actually kick him out of school if he doesn't get tested 2 times a week. I mean, it's just like astronomically absurd. And he's like, are you serious? Like, now every student at the school has to go in twice a week? I mean, to me, that just sounds like the most egregious case of, like,
Yeah,
we just we got to burn up all these vaccines and or these tests and get all them monies.
Right.
Like,
We got to get all that money
what?
that we put, but I don't want to get us because then all of a sudden Garcia will appear. Like, if we find out.
But what
we
is
do
the
this
what is the
vaccine
logic on
magically
that? I don't know. I've gone off the rails and I apologize. to
No,
everybody.
you're fine, dude. You're more than owed a few rants here and there. So
That one just seems like
Yeah,
excessive to anyone's standards.
well, I mean, directing it back to poker, and like I heard this from a friend in Bay, playing out there at the Bay 101, that people are just like being restricted to how long they can sit at a table, and still Vegas has all these the dividers up, which is like we've been like I just don't understand why people don't notice what's happening. I mean, maybe they're just not available to be like, hey, let's look how Texas is doing it. Texas running into problems in their gaming sphere? No.
Yeah.
Why did? And like we don't need to wipe down everything, I think, anymore, because we figured out that that's not where the spread comes. It comes within airborne stuff. So like we're wiping down everything as if that's. I know.
Yeah, we still no. I mean, there's something to be said for like hygiene and doing our best.
Right. There's a difference between keeping a sanitary environment and feeling like if I don't wipe this down, the COVID is gonna get me. Like it's.
Yep.
It's like absolutely outside on this of the place of, hey, keeping it nice and clean and decent, but.
Yeah. Anyways, let's get back to poker, shall we? Because I feel like I shouldn't have gone down that road. But in any case, we wish our best to Preston out there. We hope that he's alive and well, staying healthy, and learning all the things at school. As now we've got these two players crashing into each other on a 3-bet hand. Bones here, Queen Jack offsuit. The perpetrator of the 3-bet and Ryan here out of the cutoff, calling 7-6 of hearts and flopping the worlds. These sort of connected-y heart hands have really been doing well today.
This could, well, I mean, unless Ryan decides to check bomb off of this, like, I mean, there could be so many intriguing turn cards that will allow this to potentially boil over into disaster for either player.
Yeah, well, the thing for Ryan is that there's, I mean, even if his opponent has a king, he has a ton of equity, and so it's a perfect hand to go for a check raise with, because you don't actually mind getting all the money in, and if you get a fold, well, great, because you had 8 high, and you didn't need to get there. And the other problem is that if a 5, a 10, or a heart does peel off, like, it could slow down the action. Maybe the 5 or the 10 less so. Ryan is going to go for the check raise. I like this a lot. Bones now going to be in a tough spot with his entire range. Obviously, with the queen jack offsuit, he's just going to be able to fold it. But I mean, that's still a win for 8 high right there. I mean, Bones did have the best hand.
Absolutely. Try to 3-bet a new player into this, put a little pressure on, and yeah, to Bones' misfortune, the player just absolutely was loaded on that board and was never going to be able to be blasted off it. So, well, we got about 600 live viewers joining us in here in our 69th minute of the show. Nice. Make sure to hit that like button. Click subscribe. Mike Gimblett here with Aaron McAvoy, super producer Carolyn, fact checker of the show as always. Keeping us in our place here, Aaron.
That's right.
But we are not going to ever have false information or let any BS be led astray. So if you'd like to give us a thank you or get a special shout out, again, the super sticker and super chat is the direction we'll go to. Maybe we'll play like a sound effect for it too. So.
Hey, guess who it is? It's Moose Duty, and he's doing silly stuff in the chat again.
Hey, that's our boy Moose Duty. We love you. All right. Mikey Luke, Into Deep in LA. We've got Brian Crow checking in. Elsinore Brewery again, making the Harlan Williams comparison. We've got all of our friends here, Aaron. It's just.
We're getting the band back together. They're all here.
Straight.
And we got another 3-bet pot here. Ryan this time waking up with the ace-king offsuit in the hijack, bumping it up to 400 after an open to 120 from Boots. 10-9 of spades from UTG. The king, queen, 5. Rainbow flop here. Ryan is going to flop the best of it. Boots does have gutter and backdoor spades working. Checks it over. Ryan will continue, likely for around 1/3 pot. 250, 1/3 pot indeed.
Kind of looks like J-Stack. You sure it's not J-Stack in the skies? No, probably not. But
Pretty sure. Pretty sure.
have you seen Ryan and J-Stack in the same place at the same time? All right, Queen of Spades turns here. It's a big card for Boots, which now does give him a flush draw, the straight flush draw at the boot, but
Yeah, Boots doesn't go for the lead here, so yeah, he is just going to play this as a check. Ryan quickly checks back, and look at this run out. Boots is going to get there on the end, so Ryan will dodge it. Obviously, he's just checking the second pairing on the turn just a ton, which is why maybe Boots could have gone for the lead there. But as it stands now, Boots with the flush is going to lead. And let's see what size he goes for here. Trying to get called by a king. So doesn't want to make this too big. But honestly, with the way this is run out, Ryan may just call this. Yeah. All right. So Ryan took a look at it, flips his hand over like, yep, no, you got there. Cool. Nice hand, bro.
Nice one. Nice hand. I'm sure wouldn't veil any sarcasm there. We got attacking the flies in here again.
Well, I think most of them have moseyed on to the great beyond, but there was that one, and I almost killed him, but I missed him.
Rest in power, King. All right, we crossed over the 100 like mark. Great job, team. Great job. Okay, again, high hands of the hour happening here at TCH Mondays and Tuesdays, 4 p.m. to midnight in our Austin location. And I would probably repeat this to death, but again, we do have a bad beat jackpot now throughout all the clubs. So it's just something to keep in mind once you come out here with the cash game streets of what you're eligible for. Price, bad beat jackpot now 25K in it, so
and
just
remind
under
us,
25K. So
remind us, Mikey, what you need to qualify.
What do you need to qualify? Was it got to be?
Oh, I remember. It's quad 10
Quads.
Must be defeated by a straight flush or better. They're all straight flushes that are better than straight flushes. You're right.
4 of a kind or higher, losing to a straight flush or higher. Okay, so that's a pretty strict qualifier. So, boy, if you do lose that, that would be a pretty solid consolation. But hey, we got a couple of ladies.
Ladies. Wait a minute, this is a lady.
That last bit was a new bit.
That was just a continuation on it. So, all right, Ryan with a couple of coins. Boy, he has picked up a lot of hands here. I think this has got to be his TCH live debut.
And Eli here is going to play this one out of position. Wow. Rather ambitious, I would say. Jack,
He's here to
6,
party, man.
1 diamond. Eli being like, you know what? You got a pair every day of the week. If I hit my ace, I'm going to be good. And then I didn't hit my ace, so let's see how he plays it. Was he just playing bingo for the ace and then ditching it after that? Or is he going to stick around? Maybe he has some plans.
Like Eli's just here to fuck shit up, man. That's what he's here for.
Well, if he's here to fuck shit up,
sorry.
Jack 6 board isn't bad to do it on because Jack is going to favor his calling range, but he is done with it. Not going to get crazy. Ryan will take it down with the ladies.
Ladies. Are no relation to Lottie, who's I think out there in Vegas. So hey, we got Anderson here in the chat. John Ragor.
What's up, Anderson?
Shots here by a lot of folks here in the chat, and you like to contribute to a super sticker or super chat, you can certainly do so. Get yourself a special shout out. And maybe if you want to hear a particular sound bite, hey, that's a way to particularly bribe the booth. As we've not quite confirmed if we get past the 350 mark that we'll do broth bombs, but it is potentially on the table. You can start mashing it, and then all of a sudden we have to make like strong consideration for it. But
I'm gonna say right now that it's gonna take more than 350 likes for me to do another broth bomb.
Okay, so it's 400 for you, 350 I will.
Okay.
If you would get over 425, is that fair? I don't know.
425 to get Carolyn in on this? Is that where we're going? Because I'll do it at 400.
I don't think you'll have that.
Excuse me, my goodness.
500
for Carolyn.
We'll definitely do it. Yeah, so I mean that there's going to have to be some added output out of the TCH live streets.
I almost would pay just to see Carolyn's face after she suffers through a broth bomb.
Would you hire some like bots or view bots?
Oh my!
Apparently that's possible.
Yeah? How many dollars? I think I got one.
Hey, we got Anderson.
$1? No? Not good enough?
Apparently that's possible to, like, view bot. So, like, I don't know how the hell that works, but I can imagine you can manipulate those numbers to a degree, but I imagine that's not legal. Anderson with a $5 super chat. Love the whole TCH team. Aaron, Mike, Carolyn, everyone. See, that's the way it puts everyone else's in the hierarchy. It's you first, me second, Carolyn third, and everybody else fourth. Or is it all tied 1A, 1B, 1C? I don't know.
Dude, we're the team. We're the
specifically
GOAT.
Listed. No, we can't.
We are the GOAT, not any one of us.
No,
it's all of us together.
Together, like 3 ninjas or something. Exactly.
That's definitely
That's
true.
the all for one and one for others. Whatever the hell. Okay,
Yeah.
Alan Pish. I've been saying it wrong this whole time. I found this on Alan Pichatello. I once didn't raise with ace in a tournament, and TGA Cloutier chewed me out. He probably needed a cigarette and wasn't allowed to smoke anymore. So I just remember watching one of those old WSOPs, and they're just
chain smoking.
Oh
at the
yeah,
table.
yeah. It just looked like that.
Like the epitome of old school poker.
Yeah.
Where you could barely see the board because there's just cigarette smoke everywhere. Yeah.
Ashtrays everywhere, and somebody drinking a Zima, most likely.
Oh man, the good old days indeed.
Yeah. All right, we got Boots, Colby, and Big Daddy Chaz mixed up here in a hand 3-way. So
Man, Zima was really ahead of its time. You know?
It got ahead in the seltzer game, but the world wasn't quite ready for it, and nor should it have been. There's a lot to unpack in the alcohol world. As a 7 going to make Boots a straight.
Yeah, Boots backing into a lot of hands here. He's going to bet 25, see if anybody will pay him off. But Chaz with a pair of 5s, Colby with an under pair to the entire board will not do it. So he'll just take what's in the middle.
Yeah, son.
Yeah, I mean, well, Zima wasn't even seltzer related, right? I mean, it was
it was
the
like
straight
the first,
up
like light malt
Well,
beverage.
it was a malt beverage, but it tasted like today's like Mike's Hard or some shit, right? I mean, it was super sweet.
And it was the first I feel like it was the first one that people were like actively making fun of as like this is the stupidest idea of a drink ever. And every year, like Coke comes back with their like orange flavored or vanilla flavored, not realizing that they were dog shit to begin with. They're like, whoever wanted a lemon flavored cola or an orange flavored cola, like some of the vanillas, not bad, cherry vanilla.
Okay.
But why do these companies insist on having crappy colas with terrible flavors? That's my rant of the week here.
I think we should start a brand called
Just
Crappy Cola and
like,
just like intentionally make it garbage.
Like 5 minutes, everyone's allowed it.
Sardine Cola, yes. Carolyn, you're onto something.
Every week, we're allotted 3 minutes to rant about something that might be grinding your gears. Isn't that like a Family Guy segment?
Mm-hmm.
This week, you know what really grinds my gears?
Yep.
You, America. No, that's not it. All right, we've got Tom Pair here for your ream. Not much else happening for anybody besides, well, yeah, that is just your ream.
Yeah, everybody with a king in hand, and then it was Jack 10, Queen all represented, so the Queen is the only good card as of right now. Colby, though, is going to fire at this. He's got some backdoor equity in his mind, at least, in terms of, let's see if I can get somebody to fold an ace high, maybe. That's the 160. Yareem ain't going anywhere. He's going to play this as a call, and Eli is out of the way. Off to a turn we go. Colby going to need to see a jack or an ace probably to continue moving along.
Nope, ain't going to get it.
Yeah, that's a pretty bad card to continue a bluff line with. So let's see if Colby does check this one over. He does. And Yareem here, yeah, very likely to go for something around half pot, I would imagine, maybe 2/3 or a little under half pot. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, I guess you're just going to get a ton of folds a lot of the time. But I think the only thing, if you're going to bet there, you may as well go after the queen jacks and queen tens of the world that are like, oh, I don't like that 8 pair.
I don't know.
But he just bets small, takes it down. There you have it.
Hillbilly with a very bad take here. Hey, front. Says Cherry Coke, nasty. Wow, I think that's like a bannable like statement in my world here, but you know,
like if
I agree to disagree. But
if I was gonna drink a Coke, I think Cherry Coke, like probably the best of them.
Yeah, I think it's the best version of Coke, or like Diet. I typically like Cherry Coke Zero. I just don't like messing anything with all that much sugar in it.
Anything with the zero on it, man. Like
you're walking
your C4
into like
energy.
gut wrench. I'm almost afraid to see what would happen if you like poured like what some of that stuff is capable of. If you poured it out in like grass, would it just kill it all, or
poured it
any
into
of
your
that
gas
kind of
tank
stuff that is like 0 calorie, but again no sugar.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think it's all just plastic. It's just a series of tubes of plastic.
It is. That's what we're famous for saying here often. All right, Eli folding. We've got Ryan up into the double straddle. It is Bones defending. It looks like the Queen Nine of Diamonds is. We'll back this up. Ryan raises, Bones calls.
Yeah, ace high flop here, and Ryan can continue this very frequently, and Bones, especially with this particular hand, is just going to have to get out of the way a lot of the time. So there you have it. Ryan just continues betting, takes it down. Taking a look at the V-pips here. Pierre and Sparks are under the Lottie line.
Oh, no.
Pierre has not played many hands at all, my goodness.
Yeah, they've not really, it looks like they've picked up many good combos here. And
yeah,
I don't know.
It's certainly not for want of trying. It's for want of cards.
And also some of the positions here have been, and it's still early. We are, again, a little bit of a late start on this. So we started about 6:25 or so after the 500K guarantee final table. If you've not checked that out, you always can check out the archive of it. It looks like it was a 3-way chop between first, second, and third. Didn't quite get the exact numbers on that, but
it's over 210 for first.
Pretty decent chunk of change for a couple of days of work.
Yeah, I would say so. Oh, we got a couple of hands crashing into each other here. Pierre finally got something to do as he is going to drop in the 3-bet up to 3 hundies off of the open from Colby under the gun. So Pierre going to size this one up, and Jeremy wakes up with a hand as well. And my goodness, before we even get to middle position here, we're going to have a 4-bet. Cold 4-bet out of Jeremy. Everybody like, give me aces, give me aces, give me aces. Where are they?
Kings, maybe? Nope.
Backing around to Colby, who's going to have a very easy fold and just get out of the way here. He's like, cool. All right, you guys do it. You guys can have a good time. And now Pierre
Here's the feeling good
just
all the
snap
time.
folds it. He's like a cold 4 after an under the gun open and a UTG2 3-bet. Or UTG1 3-bet. You just have to have the goods. He snap folds the ace king right there. And honestly, I think if you just like run out an infinite sample size, that's probably not a bad way to go.
Not at all. Roger, is it true that Bones once auditioned for American Idol's Madonna act and made it to the final? No, that's definitely not true. I think it was Paul Abdul is really what he was trying to go for during that moment, but
Okay.
you know, I'd have to go back to the archives of the show. Like, you were a big American Idol fan, weren't you? You loved all of the... No.
I like you. I like you. You stick around.
Joke that fell flat.
It is interesting when people come up with different, like,
Well, that was a weird
shticks.
era of TV where you had all these kind of contests, and it was like the networks figured out they don't have to pay people and the actors for these shows. They can just do semi-reality contestant shows.
Yeah, I mean, that's still like full-blown driving the industry right now.
Yeah.
Isn't that what people still watch like network TV for? Is that kind of bullshit?
Yeah, it's just weird. Because now, like, you have all these streaming services that if you have to get them all are probably more than what you would get in a cable bill. Like, that's the weirdest part about this is that all these streaming services that started that... Here, now if you subscribe to all of them, to be able to get to, like, HBO, Hulu, Netflix, Paramount, Peacock, Prime Video. Yeah, but, I mean... If you went to, like, with all of them, depending on, like, what you would be doing on a cable, say, like, you get, like, 2 boxes or you have internet attached with it, it's just, I don't know. Glad this show is free to watch.
Me and you again, Boots?
Yeah, we're going into
We're getting many rants here tonight.
ankle deep in rants.
We've capped it all off here? Okay.
Do you have the soundbite for ants? Because you should have one where it's like,
Ants.
because that's
This
what
is how
you
you
get if
get
you
ants.
want rants.
Rants. This is how you get rants. Just get us worked up on stuff.
That's right.
You want a rant? Because this is how you get a rant.
This is how you get rants. Yeah.
All right. Ace, queen, sevens, king 10 suited. Ace, king, as trips here for Pierre. Ryan with second pair, boots. Just, you know, pocket sevens. So check. And whammy. Nope.
Yeah,
The song going to remain the same.
pretty good flop for Pierre, and he does just go for the check and see if he can trap somebody into something here. And I don't know. I guess, yeah, Ryan is the only one who can continue here. Does have 2 pair. Calls the 75. Pierre could be doing this on occasion with, like, you know, 9-8 of clubs or something that just was like, I don't know, maybe just bet this and see if we can win. But
Yeah, just throw chips out there.
But as it stands, goes for a check. Or sorry, not a check. Ryan in position. So Pierre now betting 225, which is just about 2/3 pot. Ryan is going to pay him off. Says I chop with every king that isn't better than that. And wow, you just got the goods. So Pierre will take one down after he hadn't played a hand in quite a while, but that's a little bit of traction for him.
Yes, son.
Yes, son.
Yes. Well, what's going on here in the room tonight, Aaron? Looks like we got about 3-1-2 tables happening at 2-5. Along with our 5-10 stream, you can join Aaron McAvoy on Thursdays for, again, 2-5 match stack if you want to get on the list for that game. Again, the email scrolling along the bottom of the screen and the phone number. And we can certainly try to get you included here in the action. The demand, especially the 2-5 game, it seems like every time I pass by, there's like about 100 names on the list of people who are trying to get a part of the action. So we just try to encourage that again for our out-of-towners, for you folks who are sick of not being able to play poker. Or maybe you got yourself vaccinated and you're just like, I need to get out of my town here and play some poker. Well, if you were to be on the live stream, there's the info right there on the bottom of your screen as Big Daddy Chaz opens to 150. Pure with a couple of ladies.
Yeah, Pierre back-to-back hands here now, getting himself into the mix, as this is a over 4x. He is out of the blind up against an early middle position open. So yeah, no, this all checks out. So Big Daddy Chaz, though, not going anywhere. He says king queen offsuit in position is playable. So here we go, off to a flop. And there's a king. There you have it. Big Daddy Chaz outflops Pierre. And let's see how Pierre plays this as the 3-better.
First act and leads, what, 375?
Yeah, so just about quarter pot. He can do this with a lot of his hands. This is almost just going to be a range bet spot, although if you do range bet, then you end up betting this with your queens, your jacks, and your tens, and that just doesn't feel great when you get called. So let's see, very frequently just end up in a spot where you have to check the turn. And now that doesn't feel good either. So let's see if Pierre decides to rep the king with yet another bet. Problem with this one is that if your opponent does have a weak king, like a king queen or a king jack that they did decide to call pre with, obviously you block the king queens to some degree. Although with the king of hearts, you know, if your opponent's only calling suited combos, then, you know, there's 2 of them out there still, and man, unsuited combos, there's a ton of them. Big Daddy Chaz clearly going to go ahead and call those, but
yeah,
you're just never going to get a king to fold. So sizing up here is really just, I mean, I guess if you're ready to just go for it all on the end and see if you can really put him to the test. It's an ace even on the end. Ace of hearts, everything gets there. How does Pierre play this? He's got the queen of hearts. That's the key card. This is weird, but he checks. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and I guess probably from his vantage point here, if he just feels like if Chaz has called this turn bet, then is he going to fold to anything here on the river? But once he sees this probably at showdown, maybe he might have second thoughts. This is why Chaz is tough. Like, you just are, he's very sticky at times, and he's generally correct, and he got a little fortunate there to hit one of his 3 outs there against queens. But
yeah, I would have liked to have seen Pierre take just a little bit more time to think through his options there. I think in his mind he'd kind of been like, all right, I'm going to bet 1.6 here, see if BDC will fold. He didn't, and was just like, oh, shit, shutting it down. I'm not going to lose another chip here. Then the perfect river card comes because he has the ace, or sorry, he has the queen of hearts. That is the stone nut card. And if he had just taken a little bit more time, he may have realized, like, wait a minute. Not only do I have all of the ace kings that could still go for value, but I have the nut flush blocker, so.
yeah, Edward Lee does pose an interesting story, but what could Pierre rep here with the betting? I guess that if he somehow was maybe repping like a queen 10 of hearts or queen jack, or which is certainly a reasonable line. I think once the 9 peels off there that he could be semi-bluffing some of those, but it is still kind of like Chaz, and you just maybe feel like your margin for error seems a little bit less just because he's just been really good at sussing out some of these spots, and Bones now going to put in a 3-bet and pick it up.
Yeah, I mean, I think the weirdest thing about that, and the whole reason why it gets tricky, is that Pierre went for 2 streets with queens to begin with. If he hadn't done that, then there wouldn't be any discussion of like trying to bluff the river, because it just wouldn't exist. You would have played it as let's get to showdown and see if I can win with my queens. But because he bets flop, bets turn, then it's like now the Queen of Hearts is the most relevant card, and he doesn't go for it.
Yeah, that could be a course in just the playing big pairs when you've got an overcard on board. Like I think there's almost a special facet as to, but there's no universal method. It just becomes opponent and board dependent. That's what makes this game kind of interesting, is because there are just so many different variables here that you can hypothetically change the whole spectrum of the hand based on one different action or one different card.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, the computer, of course, if you look at this from a GTO standpoint, is going to take a lot of these spots when you have this sort of like one overcard, and it's just going to start checking. Unless it's a specific positional arrangement where you're going to range bet and you're going to bet all of your hands. You got to.
Apparently, here's some thoughts on computers.
Computer error. Computers don't make errors. What they do on purpose. By now, your name and particulars have been fed in.
All right, that's enough of Dale Gribble there. So, computers don't make errors, Hank. That's always a good rewatch to me if I need something simple to put on as King of the Hill for like an hour. If I'm just kind of stuck and I'm like, some really dry humor for it. But all right, we continue here on TCH Live 5, 10, 20. Fairly healthy dose of $20 straddles. The game continues to really pick up around Austin. I think gauging from what some of the players have been telling me, like it's been a pretty healthy, steady flow of players popping on in, and we'll continue here as Eli back here on the streets again. Was back on the stream last Monday night. I'm going to race up here with pocket sixes. We'll see if anybody else is going to tag along here. Looks like Boots has got a hand to defend with. Got 8-5 of hearts. Here we go. Heads up.
Yeah, out of the straddle here, getting a decent enough price. Why not? That is not the flop either of these players were dreaming of. After Eli checks this back, we go check again on the turn, and now Boots playing jacks and deuces with a king. He's like, I got the board, and Eli's like, I don't. I have better than that.
Pretty open shut case there. So, all right. So you played up in the tournament in Dallas, and you said again field pretty favorable, especially for folks like what I mean. Did it seem like a hectic amongst the flights, or what was the overall experience like up there in Dallas?
Well, so I planned this on the fly because I was playing the Austin flight on Friday, and busted right at the end of registration. And so then was like, all right, I got to decide right now whether I want to hop back in the mix here with a 25 big blind stack. Several good players had heaps of chips and then ended up bagging. So it was like, do I go up against that field with 25 big blinds, or do I just hop in the car, drive up to Dallas, and play against the really soft field that I've been hearing about up there? So that was what I decided to do. Went up there, registered Friday night, and was the last, like, here's your seat before alternates started getting handed out. So I was very fortunate in that regard, because then, yes, it was like alternate number 78, you know, right? Like, I mean,
Jesus, that many players waiting to get in.
Yeah, so people were waiting, but getting seated relatively quickly. But I didn't have to deal with that until the second flight, at which point, by the time I'd busted right after that one started, I was able to late reg it and get in pretty quickly. But yeah, it was, I mean, just a mass of people waiting to play that game, playing that game, and just, it was bananas. But it was also amazing. So
yeah,
I
shout out to
every minute
Victor and the crew. Like, I don't want to get in that mood where we just spend 10 minutes patting each other on the back, like I've seen on some other shows, or just like, okay, hey, we got it. But, oh, hey, that was a lot to coordinate together between the owners and general managers. So, hey, proud to be at TCH. We had a fantastic weekend across the board, and we hope you were able to at least participate, check it out, or view the live stream that, again, we premiered here at 4 p.m. So if you're done watching this tonight, go back and check out our boy Ben Kirby doing the live commentary up there. See Ben back in the mix. The friendly Ben Kirby. That is raise up here to pocket fives.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of meeting Cooper as well, the Dallas version of super producer Carolyn.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, very cool guy. He was playing the tournament as well, and yeah, it was really great to meet him. So shout out to Cooper and all of the work that they do.
Often replicated, never duplicated. Nobody will duplicate Carolyn, but we as a big whole damn family, 6 nights a week here to keep this show alive. Mondays, Tuesdays, Sundays here in Austin, and again Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays in Dallas. So again, the Tuesday 5, 10, 20 game has been just absolutely berserk. It has been like everyone just universally is like, this is just the craziest shit I've ever seen. And the amount of money being piled in. So
the money being piled in, the hands it's being piled in with, and the appetite that the players seem to have for action in that game is like unparalleled. I haven't seen that anywhere else.
It doesn't feel like a real world, like we're in a simulation at some point. Like we may still be in one, but it certainly gives me a little pause to believe like maybe this is just a manufactured reality, Aaron. Maybe I just need to cool off, as we got Ryan 3-betting here to 375.
Yeah, he's going to try to manufacture some action for himself here. This is definitely marginal, and you're going to want to limit this play to your suited aces, suited wheel aces most of the time, just because, like, otherwise the frequency at which you do this just goes through the roof. And Ryan, though, does realize, like, if I can get this through bones as the under-the-gun opener, then I probably just get folds all the way down the line.
That has not happened, though.
That does not happen, and that's why he maybe should have gone for a little bit different sizing. As it stands, it is a call from Bones, and then we get calls from everyone. And there's a king, queen, jack flop for you.
Yeah, Bones the only one to really connect with this in any kind of meaningful way. Anybody else is either here for Ryan to potentially continue at and maybe just pick this up outright. This is not in a four-way pot, I imagine, from Bones' perspective. Directly to his left is, yeah, it's going to work out effectively. Even though Bones had the best of it, it is still just an unfavorable enough board and a multi-way pot that he's just not going to give a whole lot of thought to continuing. And Ryan's going to put this one through. He's had a pretty nice session here.
Yeah, and that one, I mean, so yes, the ace-3 offsuit is maybe a little bit out of line going for that there. I understand the intent, and that's certainly all reasonable. And then the main thing there is, though, that once he gets to that flop, it's like you got to continue telling the story. Like if you're going to raise into these players and then get the exact action that happened where it's like under the gun and then these players way last to act that also call just because they're getting priced in. Those players are so frequently going to have missed that. And it's really Bones, once again, same as pre, that you got to get it through him. And if Bones had a hand like 9s or 8s or something, right, he's just going to fold that flop every time. Everyone else is going to follow suit. And ace-jack of hearts wasn't much better there. So nicely played by Ryan. I like what I've seen from him.
Yeah, speaking of following suit, thank you to Anderson here for the $5 super chat. He contributed, as that man is always suited. So, hey, E. McKenzie in the chat. It says, hey, everyone, how you doing? What's going on, E? We're worried about the connection on our stream here at this point, but you know, knock on wood, we're hanging steady here thus far, friend. And Mike Eli now going to go for the second third bet of the night, or 3-bet here by him with Jack 9. See his Chaz open on the button. He's going to 3-bet out of the small blind. We'll see if Chaz decides to call him here in position as he sees Eli here less than about or just around 2K. I don't know. This might be a fold, but this I wouldn't expect it. But sometimes,
yeah, it really could go all three different ways: fold, 3 or 4-bet, or just the call. Big Daddy Chaz is going to elect for just the call, and I think the sizing there is just a little bit wrong for Eli to try to get that one through.
Do you think he should have gone a little bit bigger or a little bit less?
A little bit bigger, just a little bit. And I don't know that it would have necessarily gotten the job done, but just the straight 4X, I don't know. I mean, it's splitting hairs, but it's splitting hairs.
We welcome healthy debate here, but unfortunately for him, Chaz here with the best of it will top 2 and make the smooth call and Brady dodges a queen here. So does pair up Eli, which gives him a little bit more hope. But still here Chaz with the best of it with kings and tens.
1.2K in the middle. Eli here, stack to pot ratio just a little bit over 1. And he slows down with a check. I think that's generally going to be the right move here. I mean, yes, your opponent could have spades and then just like blast you off of this, but I mean, if you blast all the chips in, you might get paid by the combo spades and just all the hands that beat you. So like all of those have a ton of equity. I think slowing down is the right move here from Eli. And now Big Daddy Chaz here. I mean, he could just go all in.
Yeah, he is just going to go ahead and rip it. And says it'll be just over a pot-sized bet of 1,700 to put it Mike Eli effectively all in.
Yeah, and Eli does have more than 1.7. We can see just from the chips in front of him, 1.5, then the little nub of greens in front. So his chip count doesn't seem to be quite up to date, maybe off by $100. So I think he's got 1.8. But it's really sort of irrelevant as the overbet all in here from Big Daddy Chaz wouldn't have changed given his holdings. And, you know, if his opponent has a one-pair hand that he can get him to put all the money in, then great. And if he's got some sort of draw or weak holdings, whatever, just let it go, get out of the way. Kind of tough for Eli. But the problem is that he doesn't even beat some of Big Daddy Chaz's, like, spade combos.
Right. There could be...
I mean, there's ace-jack, queen-jack, and jack-nine of spades that, you know, yes, you're technically flipping or, like, splitting the pot with, but, like, he's free-rolling you. Eli is going to call it off, though, and Eli says 2 times if you're open to it. There's an ace on the end. That's no good. Eli needs a 9, and he doesn't find it.
Yeah,
or a queen, I suppose.
Well, he would have needed a queen or jack.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, but it's one of those confusing. So that's going to be a scooper there for Chaz. He went for the kill and got it.
Sure did.
And now his mom's going to go get him some meatloaf. So
nice. I want some meatloaf. I haven't had meatloaf in a while.
You know, I'm more receptive to the idea of meatloaf than I was as a kid, because as a kid it sounds like a horrible idea. As you're older, you're like, wait a second, I can do something with this. So
wait, you didn't like meatloaf as a kid?
I can't ever remember my mom ever deciding to make it, or my parents, I think, kind of just gave up on cooking as I got older, and they're just like, you figure it out. So I was always kind of like making my own stuff after like 14, 15, 16.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Sometimes, not all the time, but you figure out how to grill, become self-sufficient.
Nice.
Okay.
Did you ever hunt anything? Did you ever
No,
kill something,
I was
drag it
definitely
home, throw it on the
not
grill?
that skilled. I was more of like I could just open it in the container and put it in the microwave, like that level of self-sufficient.
Gotcha.
It's a very weak form of it, to be honest. But
hey, man, it got you to this point.
We grew up
survived.
gritty here in Iowa. We open up our own can of SpaghettiOs here. All right. So we continue here. TCH live, 786 live viewers. 500 likes, and Carolyn will guzzle down some broth bombs, but we're a long way to it. As I've devoted to saying 350, I will do one. And if we get over 500, Aaron and Carolyn will join, but we need your help.
Yeah, I'm in at 400, but super producer Carolyn not until a little bit later.
It's a tiered system because, you know, you can get just 1, 2, or all 3. And that's really the incentive to go ahead and reach down and smash the thumbs up button. So we've got, looks like a dealer change and a new deck. So it's probably going to be time for a bomb pot unless this is only a deck change.
No, it should be. Yeah.
It's usually players are kind of slow to react to that. And again, if you're playing out in 1-2 or the 2-5 games, double boards are pretty much a staple here. They kind of invite their own scrutiny. I saw Mariano had his vlog from TCH where he was talking about a couple of different hands. So I mean, that was some decent publicity here for TCH.
It's the not ghetto part.
All right, we got the 25s on all around. Typically, in 2-5, it's $10,
Okay, I'm taking the journey.
and 1-2 is just a $5
I have to
ante.
fight somebody.
But since don't have the ability to scan 2 boards and keep track of the split pots, typically on the stream we just do a single board, which is just enough for the action anyway. I think 1 board is sufficient. We shall see what the magic of the PLO gods will bring us here, as looks like we're going to have 8 players in it. Pez says double board bomb pot solver time. Yeah, I don't think there is quite good enough computer software that can probably properly calculate how to do those. I'm sure over time somebody will find a way to, but
I mean, yeah, it's a silly endeavor, that's for sure. But I suppose, you know, there are always going to be people that are interested in trying to figure out every possible scenario. So someone will try it.
Yeah, and like our cameras can't even handle all of this right now. Either that or E is mushing the stream again, which, you know, when it happens so frequently, you don't even really need to act surprised by it anymore, Aaron. Just
This is right.
all right. Top
Eli
set for
has
Eli though.
crushed this flop. He's got top set and an 8. So that's actually bad for him because his opponents are going to be less likely to have an under set, a lower set that he can crush with his top set. As it stands, we have gotten it recalibrated. It looks like 8 ace deuce with 2 hearts out there. So he is definitely going to want to bet the maximum and have his opponents charged to see any more hearts. But everyone's just going to fold, and Eli going to ship that one after getting stacked. So he'll add a few chips to the stack right there.
On the road to recovery here, as Eli back here, as he was actually on our last stream before the shutdown from COVID. I don't know if he was one of the first to rejoin us once we got back into commentary. So nonetheless, we've been charging all along since May, and I don't think this party's ever going to end, Aaron. It'll be TCH live until we're cold in the deep, deep ground, I think.
Yeah, until we're all pushing daisies, like
Pretty
every one
much.
of us. That's right.
Do you think
TCH
like
for
40
life.
years from now there'll be some other young cohorts ripping off our bits and
No, I'm probably still
proving
gonna
us
be here.
irrelevant because their super solvers have completely constructed AI mind bots and
Yeah, we'll all have the Neuralink implants from Tesla or whatever,
Yeah.
and like we'll just like know how to do
we'll automate
everything.
all the decisions. Like we won't even be. It'll just be whoever's the best coder that can be able to calibrate their systems. And then there'll be just old school guys like us in our 80s being like, you filthy kids and your computers. And we'll try to take on the AI machines and fail miserably.
Yeah,
We'll become old man coffee.
It'll be Judgment Day. And
Yep.
the Terminators will come back from the past. It's just going to be crazy.
Oh, yeah. We, what was the system that, for Terminator, oh, Christ. Skynet, yeah, Skynet's become active, so. And somebody be here to warn us. Good call by Carolyn, just right there on the mark as always.
All right, number 1 here, the Steam Dola number 1 for Yareem. Gonna raise it up to $60, and Big Daddy Chaz with ace-7 suited. Gonna put in the smooth call. Eli King Jack at diamonds in the cutoff, and he is reaching for 3-bet and chips. There it is, 250 from him. Ryan with a couple of 5s on the button, facing a 3-bet here. Yeah, I think you're just gonna have to let this one go. Would love to go set mining, but it's just
It's a heavy
tough
ticket,
spot.
but Yareem here with the Steam Dola, the 8 of spades, 8 of hearts, says
190 to call. Yareem going to make that call, and Big Daddy Chaz now with the action. He could have closed the action there, but he is also recognizing that it's really just the spades that are working for him there, unless he flops like trip 7s or something, because his ace is just so likely going to be dominated. As it stands, he did fade, flopping a pair of 7s and a backdoor spade flush draw, so he would have perhaps gotten strung along against the pair of 8s. Eli here with the 2 overcards, backdoor straight and flush opportunities. Going to continue at this for 300. And Ureem, I don't think he can go anywhere just yet.
Not quite yet. All right, heads up. It continues. Pot of 1,200. And there's a big card for Mike Eli over. Straight flush draw. As good of a card as it gets without directly pairing for him.
Yeah, and Ureem, though, also getting up and down straight draw to go with his pair of 8s. So if he is up against an overpair, which Eli is representing here, then he's got some additional outs to get bailed. Looks like a bet of 600 here from Eli. And Ureem here, if he calls, this pot is going to go up to 2.4K, and he'll have 1.5 behind.
He's got that kind of folding posture right now. That looks like a man about to release his hand.
I don't know about that. I
I don't know.
No, I think he's just kind of trying to figure out exactly how to navigate this. This is the weirdest time. It was when the stacked pot ratio gets to 1 and then starts to dip below it. Because, like, your fold equity goes away. Do you even want your opponent to fold? It's just not clear. And he's going to make the call. Wow. And, yeah, I like this. I mean, this is pretty much the only way to play this, in my opinion. Just if your opponent's bluffing, let's say they got a hand like exactly what Eli has, just got to let them keep blasting. And you're just going to check call down unless the river comes off something super nasty. 5 of spades, that's blank. That's not nasty. You're going to get your chips in there, but you got to play it as a check call. Just no other way around it.
Yeah, this is a really interesting spot here because, again, Eli, 1,100 left. Does he fire it all off here? And if he does, will Ureem pay him off? Will he bluff catch here in the spot? Will he recognize here that Eli might be tilting a little bit? And could he still be tilting with a hand that might be better than his?
1.1K here is just such a small bet. So Ureem needs to be correct less than 1 in 4 times for this to be profitable. I mean, I don't know.
There are some players I think you can target that if, say, like Chaz or Bones that typically play this a lot, but this also might be a spot here if you're playing here on the first time. You might be thinking about preservation. You can also have to try to trust his instincts here to see if he detects this to be enough of strength and value hands here on the spot versus just blast off here with misdraws, which, to be fair, there are probably some out there that he could piece together that he could think that, okay, maybe he could try to take it, but this might be probably one of the more interesting hands of the ninth.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing for Ureem is that because this is such an attractive price, it feels like Eli's just got to have it, right? Because It's like, is Eli really going to bluff here? Like, well, I'm going to call.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't he just check back his ace-king or something, right? And just give up.
Back
just give up.
Ace-9 or Jack-9 or something like that. Like, it's...
Well, certainly a 9. I mean, well...
No, 9 he might check back. Just be... Would he, though? Like...
Oh, Eli, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think a 9 plays it like this ever, anyways. But I mean, at the end of the day, this is a stone cold bluff, or it's a pair that beats 8s, right? Or even a set. It could even be a set, but
could be some overpair. Yeah, I mean, he could think it.
Ooh, he gets it through.
Because Eli gets it through.
Eli with the very low probability of success bluff gets it through, and wow, all right, way to go, Eli, man, catching a little bit of traction just when he needed it after that felting.
All right, little Kirk Cousins. I don't always love quoting Kirk, but he is our Minnesota Vikings quarterback, so we'll stand with them. But interesting hand, and probably one of the more compelling ones, I think, if you've tried to go street by street. There might maybe like another hand or two that went this way this evening of just like oh boy, you could have done a whole lot of different paths with that. And do you think Yuri maybe should check bomb that turn sometimes, or is that that still pretty standard, just check call spot, or because of the stacked ups being the way they are? I open it as a question.
Yeah, I think he played it perfectly all the way up until the river decision to fold. I think if you're going to check call the turn, you need to be planning on check calling any river bet as well. And that's simply because you're just pricing yourself in, right? As soon as you call the turn bet, you're pricing yourself in to what, it was less than 1 in 4 times he has to be right.
Right.
And his opponent clearly is capable of bluffing there. I mean, who knows? We're not seated at the table, right? I also know exactly what it feels like to be in that spot and be like, Jesus, I have third pair. This guy's bet every street. And now he's giving me such a good price. It just has to be value. No, it just doesn't always have to be value. But what do I know? I'm sitting on this side of the screen,
Yeah, we're all just playing a guessing game up here sometimes. So it's like you said, like once you get on the felt, like the mood of whatever however the game's going, or however the history of hands have unfolded, like it's not always transparent. I think once you're in that seat as to how some of the spots will play out. So I think we always recognize that there's a margin for error, but it's kind of one of those things that Yuri is probably going to look at after the fact and said, okay, why the hell did I call here if I was going to fold the river? So that could be one thought going through his brain.
Yeah, and I mean, so it's really tricky though too, because I've found myself in these spots before myself, and I think we all have from time to time, is you get laid a price on a street that isn't the river to continue, and you're like, okay, so I'm actually getting the odds to call, and if I hit my hand, then I'll win, and that's great. And then so you make the call, then you get to the river, and maybe it like gives you a pair that's like third or something, and now you're like, wait, so I was going for my flush or my straight or my whatever, and now I've got a pair, and now I'm laid another good price on the river, but how good is my hand ever? And because you had the mentality of like I was going for a straight or a flush, and now I have a pair, it's hard to like shift gears and be like, okay, am I getting the right price with this pair now?
That's the whole point, is that like you can talk yourself into the math of it. It'll open, and some people, are like you said, like, yeah, great, I'm getting a price, but like just so how often am I just destroyed here on the spot? So that's the variability of the game that I think there's. You're always borrowing from a little bit of column A, column B, column C to merge your decision making together to try to make the best decisions as you can, or otherwise commentators will call you donkeys and stupid, and words are, no, we would never do such a thing. We're generally pretty kind for the most part. Like, okay, we've got Jeremy here with top pair, Colby here with an open under.
Yeah, and Colby, as the pre-flop raiser on the button here, is going to continue with his open under after a check from Jeremy. We go off to what looks like an 8 of hearts. That's here correct. On the turn. Going to give Colby some showdown value. It's third pair. And does still have the up and down straight draw. So check from Jeremy. Colby going to check back, take his equity, and there you go. There you go.
Another straight draw that gets there.
Yeah.
It's Straight Monday here, everybody, on TCH Live.
And yeah, I think just going back to the previous hand, as Jeremy will check it over, Colby will put out a bet, and I imagine Jeremy's going to fold. But Yareem may have just been in that mindset, right, of like, I'm going to call trying to hit my straight because I had turned an up and down straight draw. And then when it didn't get there, was like, shit. I think I probably lose to everything. Like, I didn't make the straight, and the straight would have been good, but I mean, just the pair.
Yeah. And I'm like, does he have 10 jack here, or could he have pocket jacks? He could have queens that could. So it's just, there's a lot happening there that I think if you maybe on some other streams you could have just sat there and just totally missed. The varying layers that you get when you play on these cash game streets, that it's not all just plug and play. You just show up there, play your cards, and the hands take care of themselves. There's a lot of variability in there. A lot of variance.
That is for sure.
Racer Nerd, I like that breakdown. Well done. Of course. That's what we're here for. If you enjoyed that as well, make sure to crush that like button, click subscribe. We're over 16,100 subscribers here at the Texas Card House, live with TCH Austin and Dallas streams 6 times a week. Bat Beat Jackpot currently above $24,678 dollar bills, y'all. And we'll continue here with the action here on a 5-10 night Monday.
Boots going to fold the queen jack off suit under the gun. I like that. And over to Big Daddy Chaz, who's got a loose green chip hanging out there along the rail, but he is going to fire out 3 green chips into the pot for a bet of 75. Bones calls the 5-3 suited. All right.
Yeah, it's feeling. Woke up this morning feeling dangerous, I guess.
He surely did, as this is very likely to be a low-frequency play from him. Sparks now going to put in the 3-bet out of the small blind here, ace-queen offsuit. And with the player calling in between, Big Daddy Chaz is even more incentivized to go for the 4-bet here, but King 9
Sparks,
suited,
I mean, he was
not the
less
right
than
one.
9% VPIP during this. So this is his first, I think, real 3-bet. Maybe he had one earlier, but yeah, we haven't seen Sparks play a hand in a while, so.
Yeah. I mean, but he's played with these players before, so it's not necessarily that.
Chad is absolutely capable of just being like, fuck it, 4-bet, but I think he kind of sees in that spot right there that it's like, no, he's not making a raise just to open things up.
Sure.
Ian McKenzie saying 5-3 suited is one of the hands that's involved in a bet, I think. That could make sense, too, because Bones will play some kind of suited one-gappers occasionally, that I think just depending on who he might be matched up with, that he could play late position. But, okay, E. McKenzie here with the news bomb. We may not know the specifics, but if we do see some weird hand combos, we may attribute it to that.
So this is interesting, E. If you have any more info you can share, like, do you have to, if you win a hand with these, is it similar to like the 7 deuce or something, where like you win a hand with it and then you get some sort of payout? Like, I'm curious about this.
Might have to send our investigative journalist, junior producer Seth, on the case or something.
There you go.
Make him earn his keep around here and do some digging into this. No, we can't. But
I think I just saw an ace-queen off.
Yeah, ace-queen folded here after Colby 3-bet.
Interesting.
Unless somebody was not at the table, it was definitely folded.
That is potentially possible. However, I think it was in between
Jeremy or Pierre. I think it might have been Pierre's that was.
Interesting, yeah.
Boots
now with a couple of 8s puts in the call. So cold calls the 3-bet, and Ryan will go set mining with his sailboat. So 4s, 8s, and ace-7 suited here going to a flop.
Texas Poker, shrug. Yeah, it was definitely Pierre that had folded after Colby 3-bet, which, I guess would both the straight draw for Boots and Colby. Boots with the only paired hand. Well, I guess Ryan with pocket 4s, my bad, but Colby with some backdoors and a gut of butter.
Checks all the way through. Free turn card, 5 of spades. That's going to give Colby spade flush draw. Gutter still to the straight. Boots going to pick up. No, he still had the same gutter as Colby, just reversed. And Ryan here also didn't pick anything up there. So, yeah, it's just going to go bet a 350 from Boots now. Fold from the sailboats and over to Colby now. Yeah, with the gutter, the nut flush draw, he is going to put in the call. And let's see if Colby can find a really nice river card once again.
Decent one. That one's not going to be it, though. But bluffable card if he so chooses. He may get checked too. May be able to try to fire with it, but
his particular hand combination is a little bit rough to do it with.
Sure.
He does have the 7, so he could potentially have played 7-8 this way, like just flopped the stone cold goods with 7-8 suited and then just played it this way. But I don't know. That one's going to be very low frequency. Just it's hard to make that happen. Every other value hand would have been betting stronger for value instead of playing this as a check call. I don't know. 725 here. I think Boots could potentially sniff this out. He's got fourth pair, but what on earth does Colby have? Like, what queens does he have? Queen Jack, I guess. Exactly. And why doesn't Queen Jack continue betting the
but
flop?
It's like, why would it 3-bet there? So, or okay, if we check flop per. Wow, this is. You could sit there maybe say like ace queen of spades. I mean, he probably wouldn't check the 3-bet at ace 10 or ace jack. So he's like either thinking he's up against ace jack or out of the hands that would have possibly gone this route. I guess it's specifically to the ace 7, but he is a guy that reads people really well. So he's gonna pick him off here. Pocket 8's good here for Boots.
Yep. Nice call from Boots. Takes it down. And yeah, just sort of tough. Colby with the half pot size bet there just really can't represent the hand well enough to get it through, and Boots takes it down.
Yeah,
nicely played there.
Say Matt Benjamin in the chat. Alec Torelli's hitting chips, saying his bones alive. He is, of course, getting massage from Victoria from @Texas Royal Touch on Instagram. If you want to find out, hey, maybe you want to bring a licensed massage therapist to your club, check them out @Texas Royal Touch on Instagram and Facebook. Yeah, for $1.50 a minute. Certainly here within Austin, some really, really awesome people that able to give you some relief for what cures for what ails you, especially as you sit at the table. And we see people fall asleep, but I believe he's just in a state of deep relaxation.
Yeah, Bones definitely conscious over there, and ready to look for 5-3, King 4, Queen 5, whatever it is that's all part of this wager that they've got going on. So
Andy, sorry to interrupt you. Andy Moiser asked a question: do they play flop props? When I first started working here 3.5 years ago, I think that used to be more of a thing, where like people would bet numbers, and I think it just slows down the game so much if you're betting props, because you've got to figure out in between hands who's got to pay who, and like, oh, okay, I had 8s, you had 7s, you had blah blah blah. We had a weird stretch where people were doing bonkers like red or blacks, and I think we had to put a kibosh on to saying like it couldn't be chips and play, it had to be cash off the table to be able to do it. So
yep.
Different trends that have survived and have not survived over the years, but
Queen 3 deuce, couple of diamonds out there. Yareem flopping top pair, Boots on backdoor diamonds, backdoor Broadway. He picks up part of the equation for backdoor Broadway on this Jack of Spades turn. Not the card he was hoping for, though, in order to continue. As Yareem, after betting 55 on the flop, going to size up, goes 275, almost full pot now, with the top pair, second kicker. And yeah, this is a spot where Boots is just, I mean, I think he's pretty well handcuffed into a fold, although he is just going to go ahead and think it through. And yeah, maybe I've got his strategy all.
He's check here. It's like heat check time. See if we can bury this from deep, or maybe potentially bluff on the river if he gets a card favorable enough for him to do so. He does not.
Yeah, I guess it would have had to have been the diamond, right? So because he has the ace of diamonds, I was thinking this is a pretty poor calling hand, as your opponent's bluffing hands are just completely, they don't exist. But Boots is basically going to play this as, if the diamond comes, I can rep the nut flush. Bricks out, Yareem checks, giving his opponent an opportunity to bluff at it. And my guess is that Boots is going to check this back. But I was wrong about his turn play, so I'm probably wrong.
He's been a tough guy to predict, and he's probably going to get called here, I can almost imagine, but you at least respect that he is going to fire at it, and it works out perfectly to plan
Wait, when I fold it?
here for Neeme, who will recover some chips. So we gotten over 807 live viewers. Make sure to click the like as you come on in. You can also get a special shout out from us using the super sticker or super chat. We've had a $5 super chat from our boy Anderson, and you can be a cool person as well. So stream 6 times a week. Join us here in the chat. And you can also leave us a comment if you're watching on the archive. We appreciate your feedback as we continue here 5-10 with pretty much a $20 straddle happening for a lot of the night.
Yeah, definitely pretty consistent. Descent Media Production here signing off. Thanks for joining us, Dave. We'll see you later, man.
A good one first up, so if you really need
Thank you. Of our live stream viewers. There's been folks that have been with us here since day one or just the first couple of streams. There's people that check us out here all the time or just listening for the first time.
Checks live stream.
So invite you to hit subscribe if you have not done so as we continue. Keep on playing the hits for you. Mike Gimblett, Aaron McAvoy, Carolyn, super producer, here at the controls.
And I think it's about time for a really big pot to
Yeah,
just
it's about time we go bonkers here.
Yeah, culminate, which means that I need to leave the booth for it
No,
to
I
happen.
need to leave the booth because that's when it happens.
No. It's when I leave the booth.
Is it? Damn it. Do we?
No,
we're gonna have
I
to
think
rob
when
paper,
either of
scissors
us
and
leave.
Take who the first break is. Damn it.
Oh, man. Well, I was just about to step out.
Yeah, I was about to as well, but it looks like. Oh, we'll just both leave, and then we'll have no commentary over it, and everyone is confused.
And it's like the biggest pot of the night.
Like,
4 people all in, and we're just not here for it.
TCH in silence and see hey, you can be the commentary at home. No, you go ahead and take it. Trip 5s for Mike Eli. The Captain Under Paris level is to Aaron. Motivates me to study more, up to 2 to 3 hours a day. This is Captain Under Paris. Well, that's what we like to hear. People inspiring you to take action. It's awfully tough to be good at poker. It's, in theory, it's very easy to say hey, I'm going to prepare, I'm going to study, I'm going to be this or that. And then once you get into it and you're like, oh, this is boring, this is stupid. I don't want to have to study hand ranges and it's, that is a true test of your determination and ability to continue to grow. It's okay, what can you study and how can you find it to be useful? Because anybody can just study something, but can you actually use something that actually impacts your decision making?
So, super producer Carolyn did let us know that a big hand is brewing. So I'm not going to leave. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to stick around.
Didn't spoil it, but just said. But at least we knew that by us thinking about leaving, that was the magic ingredient to stir things up and get us a big hand here. So, all right, Colby opens here off of the looks like $40 double straddle or 50. I think it was a 50. And we've got Jeremy Colling with 7s, Boots here with ace-5 suited.
Yeah, and with the call in between, not going to turn this one into the 3-button variety of the ace-5. Eli, though, fires in a couple of pink chips with king-queen offsuit on a massive 3-bet here. And back over and around to Colby. Ace-queen offsuit. Eli getting a little bit frisky here. Let's see if Colby can go for the 4-bet. He did just get 2 calls in between, so he is certainly the player to do it, if anyone, as the 2 callers are generally going to have this sort of hand range. And let's see if Colby can find the gas pedal here.
Gas pedal. Yeah, wait, I don't want to sing the rest of the lyrics.
This is the other way this hand could go, is that Colby calls, and then that incentivizes the 2 players behind to call, which is how this one's going to play out.
Oh, God. Here we go. We're going to have 4K in the middle here before we even see a flop between 4 players right now.
I'm pretty sure that's exactly what we're ready for. Here it is. Yep.
Here we go.
Boots puts in the call and chips as well, closes the action, and Colby created a cascade of calls behind him. So here we go. 4 players to a flop, each one in for $1,000.
And, there's a wheel draw here for Boots, overpair for Jeremy. and a gutter ball to a 5. Let's see who decides to go crazy on this. And it's probably going to be Eli. He's going to try to represent kings or queens and rip here for 2.5. Colby's stuck out in no man's land. But now Jeremy and Boots may face some very interesting decisions.
Yeah, I mean, Jeremy certainly has a player to act behind, which is weird. Eli has shipped it all in, so this could be just a made hand that's better than him, actually, kings or queens, something of that nature. And it's 2.5K. You've got 5.6 in stack, so Boots covers you. This is just a very awkward spot to be in.
Yeah, because I guess from Jerry's perspective, you're rarely just drawing dead here in the spot, right? Like, it's just...
Well, it's not possible.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Because you can always hit the gutter, even if your opponent has a set, you could have... you can hit a 7. I mean, you're always live.
He's kind of put out in the no man's land as he's also got a player to act behind him that is like, okay, maybe if this guy's getting squirrely here and maybe I'm wrong, I'm still, not in an awful position.
Yeah, I mean, so let's say that Eli actually does have kings, right?
Right.
And Jeremy's got all 4 5s in his mind. He's got all 4 5s and 2 7s. So 6 outs twice. He's got 12 outs into like 44, 45. So, I mean, he's just trying to figure out like 1 in 4 times I get there, right?
Right.
And if I'm just good, right, getting this 2.5K into a pot that's going to go up to 9. Like, if I'm just already good, then all I have to do is hold against what could be a fair bit of equity, but wow.
So he calls, and now we're back to Boots here that just has got the open-ender with backdoor spades. And Jeremy's going to have 3 point. Like, he's just it's such a weird spot because it's like, how can I fold? There's so much money out there.
Yeah, everybody just keeps getting priced in left and right. This is just absolutely bananas. And the weird thing here, though, is that Boots almost at this point is like, do I just ship it in to get the rest of Jeremy's chips in now and just realize all of my equity? Like, if like a jack of clubs peels off on the turn and then I have to fold when Jeremy goes all in for 3K, like, how stupid is that, right? And just like leaving all that money out there. Like, do I just pile it in now and hope that
yeah, because it's just sort of like, okay, well, say I do call here, and then I hit a deuce or a set. Like, it's...
Well, there's so much in the pot that then you'd be just happy, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
But, yeah, here it is, 2.5K calls from Boots.
$11,500 pot here, Aaron, and we still got 2 cards to come. We still have a side pot potentially brewing here between pocket 7s and ace 5.
Well, the craziest thing is that Eli's still alive to a king or a queen.
I know,
right?
He's not out of the woods here yet.
Like, he thinks he's just throwing up in his mask right now. Like,
thinking,
I got called to 2 spots. Great.
It's like, I got to go back to work. But here we go. After the turn, it's a blank.
That is full-blown blank. It doesn't get any blanker than that.
That is blank, man.
Check, check. 4 on the end. Jeremy with the 7s is going to hold up.
He's going to win an $11,500 pot with pocket 7s. And it is going to be good as both Boots whiffed at it. That's because you're the best, Carolyn.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness, Jeremy. Back here on the positive side of things, going to scoop this massive pot.
Let's go. And with that, now I will step out.
Now you will step out because you will get a much-deserved break here by Aaron McAvoy. Again, hosts our Thursday to 5 edition. If you want to join that again, email TCH Live List, TexasCardHouse.com, or text 512-843-1971. We've had a huge demand to go and play in that. So, if you are trying to get in and from out of town, try to contact us as soon as possible. But this is certainly a bonkers edition of our Monday 5-10 game. And I can't imagine it slows down at this point. Because we've heard from many players that just say, like, the stream game is one thing. It's once the cameras go off that the folks who do decide to tune in, boy. Or I mean the guys on the table that continue, or gals, continue to play the action. just continues to go
case you
more and more
didn't know.
bonkers. So back here into the chat,
You guys have
good friend
aces in the
ATX Poker. Says Mikey, Mr. Soccer
I'm ahead.
2021.
Oh, fuck
Yeah, I've
yeah.
got
I don't
maybe
care- I don't
all
even
state
care if I
championship
win or
games
not.
to be
I'm just glad I'm live. I thought you guys
broadcasting
were
this Friday and Saturday, so I'm pretty pumped for that. Only picked up the sport 2 weeks ago, and then from there, I already calling state championship games. So that's pretty cool. All right, a lot of other awesome folks. Hey, David Dante is popping on into the chat. Some really good discussion here amongst the play of the hands. Money Rico bag, man, that was the dumbest play ever by Eli. I mean, there are.
I still think we should.
I don't know necessarily agree with that. Like, he could just try to blast into some weaker ace highs or
I noticed you're not showing your
unpaired
hands, so I'm
but
like, all right, what's going on here?
it did not work out for him. But I don't necessarily say if I put that in the category of dumb.
That ace of clubs is gonna be my.
And then Boots is getting like a really sick price at that point with. Yeah, he had an open-ended straight draw and backdoor spades.
So you're
And
running it once or twice, guys?
2.5 to call in what was there, like 11.5. Like, I don't know if I call that
I just want to win the first.
a bozo play at any point. Alec Torelli, Sid and Chips. Aaron, what's your opinion on the check call, check raise line and live cash games? We'll have to ask him when he comes back. He's stepping out for a breather, so I'll get that question to him. My quick estimation is it's probably a line you don't see very often, but at least I don't see it as much here in the Austin streets. But
Queen, come on. flip
Aaron
queen.
is in these streets quite a bit, so he's got a wide backlog of hands to at least be able to recognize. As we got Sparks raising up in a hand.
One less, yeah. Yeah, the club too.
Again, an author, performance coach.
Boots, you got two more for me?
As you can check him out at chrisparks.io. Systems Thinking and Decision Making, Musings of a Poker Pro is his website, advice, articles, all the good stuff out there. And, great to see Sparks
did,
back
but I
here at
took that one
TCH.
Because I was like, I won't.
Colby now here with top pair. Sparks with bottom pair, the pre-flop razor in this hand. Does have some backdoor clubs, which Colby has him covered in that regard, but
2,000 behind.
Eli can go ahead and fold, and back over here to Colby with a call.
Players checks, live stream.
Could be a dangerous one for both, as Colby, again with the higher flush draw, turns the 8 of clubs.
I'm pretty sure you'll arbiter. Yeah. How much did you have?
In the chat saying Josh Litz says Jeremy's still stacking that massive pot. Yeah, that was a lot of chips. Just in volume alone of all denominations. Again, these are the black $100 chips being measured by Sparks. $25 greens, the $5 reds, and the $500 pinks. We do have the 1K plaques in play. I believe Bones has a couple of those, and a club here on the end could be a very dangerous card here for Sparks. Colby, here with the second nut flush. The Sparks was a pre-flop raiser, opening here in middle position, and has unfortunately run into an opponent that has got a better version of what he was looking to accomplish. As big bet though by Colby here is going to put out 1.1K, and this made deter Sparks from trying to go for any more further value, because it's just sort of like, what in the world could he put out here as a massive overbet? But if I raise, I'm getting a worse hand to call.
Players checks, live stream.
So, I mean, maybe some sets and two pairs, things of that nature could try to potentially take that line, but it's a really confusing one here for Sparks. As you absolutely do not fault them for calling here in the spot, and you know, you tap the table the fact that he could have lost more. We've certainly seen players that hover around the 2-5 level that could find themselves losing a whole heck of a lot. The river payoff going to be good here for Colby, who has had a pretty wild night here. He had a big hand against Chaz earlier, where he had ace-10 that had 4-bet Chaz's ace-4. Went to an ace-4-7 flop. Chaz again with 2 pair had led out of the small blind for like 675 in this big pot. And, it was Colby that raised it up to 1.6 while he had like another 2,000 back, and then Chaz ripping in that spot and was able to find a board pair on the end to counterfeit Chaz's hand, and that was a big part of his profit. That was like right at the beginning of the show. So, as all right, as Big Ben saying Colby should have bet on the turn, not too late. EP saying Jeremy won the absolute minimum, should have jammed the turn. Yeah, I think it's one of those things that in a multi-way pot, it's not necessarily the collusion. It's just one of those things that once the pot size gets too big, like you're just going to see some restraint by some players to not have to make their decisions become much more difficult. Then we've got the Duke versus Carolinas of hands, Queens versus Ace King. Two different kinds of Ace Kings here, so it's really, Aaron should not have taken a break just yet. I think but nonetheless, as Sparks opens, Chaz gonna 3-bet. Now Eli, is he gonna go for the 4? That looks like he will. So now Sparks, just having gone flush after flush, has gotten raised and re-raised here with Queens. Probably not too concerned. I mean, it's Eli is only by our count at this point with about 1,300 plus back, so it's really more concerned probably as to if I try to put in a 5-bet here in the spot. Now, what does Big Daddy Chaz do? I guess maybe you can opt to elect to just call here in this spot, but I can't imagine once you get back to Chaz here in the spot that it's just going to be just a flat here in the spot. So he's going to go and shove, as a lot happened here. As again, Sparks opens, Chaz 3-bets, Eli 4-bets on the cutoff. Now Sparks rips, and now a $3,900 decision here by Chaz.
Came back at just the right time for the action.
Yes, you did. This is a tricky one here for Chaz, but he's realizing, well, he's got both he and Eli covered. Eli's 4-bet maybe puts the brakes on him, because like, is Eli going to do this with jacks, or could he have ace queen or something else that maybe he can take out some of the card combos that he's looking to try to make here with this particular hand? Boy, let's see what Chaz decides to do here. As Eli, I'm pretty sure after putting in as much as he probably has no choice here.
Yeah. You get like 1/100th of the pot.
Yeah, I think Eli is going to be happy to get the rest of his chips in with the ace king, especially now that Big Daddy Chaz has called. I mean, there's just no chance to get away from it. Oh my goodness.
I mean, maybe he does, because it's just sort of like he is going to see here that he is going to show it face up, and I mean, there's so much money out there, but it's also, isn't that the earlier discussion where it's like, when did that point of like pot odds and just feeling like you just might be practically stone dead, and he begrudgingly will make the call. It'll be a better one than he thinks. At least have the clubs and the hearts live.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's sort of curious. I mean, he like shows his hand there as like, well, this is what I'm working with, and then makes the decision. But Bones says the ace of clubs is the one that's going to win this one. So we'll see, as we do have 3 players.
Oh,
okay.
So since we do have a unanimous, it's not something you could commonly do, but we do have the capability here in this type of a game to approve it. Okay, well, let's see here.
All right,
we'll
so
count up before we bring it in the main. As again, it's Eli here with 1.9, so work 1.9, and then work everything else on the side between Sparks and Chaz. As maybe some run good for Sparks. He's not traditionally run particularly awesome on our stream, and you missed that he went flush over flush with Colby and probably lost the minimum on it.
Wow. Okay.
So it was
a lot of action since I've left. That's as it
usual,
goes.
right? Oh,
Woo!
a set of queens.
And with one of the kings gone.
And oh my God, he's still live though.
To the
He would've been
royal.
To the royal, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So I mean that takes out the queens and the king in that situation. As boy, there were some people sweating the bad beat that were. There would have been the jack of diamonds, I think.
Yeah.
Still good here for queens.
No more queens left in the deck. Even if it came, it would have been a boat for Sparks. No Broadways winning for the other players. And queen's going to scoop it. Nice pot there for Sparks. Eli getting felted. Big Daddy Chaz shipping over just about 4K over to Sparks on that one. He was the bigger of the two there for the payoff.
Hey,
Well, lady says 4 chicks at the same time. Is that what quad queens are?
4 chicks at the same time. You are correct.
All right, but that is our second $10,000+ pot of this evening. I mean, how many? This has been. I know these guys are just watching the Dallas stream and just say anything you can do, I can do better as far as piling money in, because it has just been absurd tonight. And I don't try to, because I think, Aaron, we both have done this show now quite a lot, but you ever get the sense of like become kind of numb to monster pots, and like I try not to undersell it, but it's like, holy shit, we had some big action out here.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, so yeah, I'm a 2-5 player, so we don't see 10K pots happen very frequently. Like it's very infrequent at the 2-5 game, but there's still just stacks getting all in left and right. I mean, this is Texas poker at its finest, and when you step up the stakes to this level, you are going to get the maximum in the middle, and yeah, 10K pots, that's going to happen. So
Tyler Drum asking why 2 flops. They agreed to it. Like, it's one of the few occasions where I think we can do it in a multi-way pot. So,
but it does have to be unanimous. If one player wants to run it one time, then
there's just no question.
Yeah, stick it in there one time, and that's it.
Alec Torres hitting chips asking, Aaron, what's your opinion on the check raise line in live cash games? Kind of I don't know, maybe he wants to apply something more specific to that, but that was a question from the peanut gallery.
Check call, check raise. I mean, it's definitely a viable line. It's usually going to be played when your opponent has the range advantage, and you're just giving them all of the opportunities in the world to go ahead and continue betting their range. And then you just ship it in there on the river, hoping to get paid off. But check call, check raise all in on a bluff is just a very low frequency thing. You just don't see in live very often, so it almost always indicates that you've got the goods. But I don't know what else to say about it other than that. All right.
Yeah. That's a fair answer. Okay. Many of our fine folks tuning in. We're at 169 likes. Nice. All right. But
another action flop. So Eli and Colby will be done with this hand pretty quickly, but Sparks and Bones here. Bones up and down straight flush draw, and Sparks nut flush draw. These two players definitely going to pile more chips in here. Colby true to form. He's out of the way. And Sparks with the nut flush draw here. Definitely just going to play this as a call most of the time. In position. Eli with the 3s can now safely fold his hand. And of course, as I say that, every action is still possible.
Yes. Your Uncle Mike here. Story time with Uncle Mike has been popular on this program before. The smooth, sultry voice. He's going to hop along here with pocket 3s because he's Because he loves pain, I guess.
Well, he has the best hand.
Does
he
technically.
does have the best hand. So if he makes it to showdown somehow and there isn't a heart, 8, 10, 7,
and 9.
queen, 8.
That's like how many cards you need to dodge. Just like looking for a black deuce.
Yeah, he has to dodge like the entire deck. He had 20% equity with the best hand. Oh, he's going to get counterfeited. Sparks
Ruined.
comes out on top with the ace high.
Ridiculous.
Of course, this still has to get to showdown for the ace high to win, though. So let's see what happens. I mean, Bones led this and then checked the turn. He could actually go for it here, repping the 9, betting something like half pot, maybe just like quote unquote get value from a king or whatever. But like, I don't know. This is going to be weird. I guess it's not even a lead from Bones as the action is on Sparks, then Eli, and Bones' last act. So Sparks actually maybe going to take his hand and block this. Interesting. Very interesting. This is a fascinating hand. And he's going to win. He block bets with the best hand and wins as his opponents get out of the way. So wow, that was just a really cool hand, no matter how you cut it.
As we continue here, TCH Live, Mike Kimblett with Aaron McAvoy at Words Are Hards. On Instagram, you can follow me at HoopsMike. And our main account, tch.atx or tch.dallas for our Dallas location and so on. Our website, texascardhouse.com. So if you're trying to figure out a tournament schedule or what promotions that we have going on, we've got the high hands of the hour going on until midnight. 4 p.m. till midnight, Mondays and Tuesdays at cash games here at TCH. Come on down and meet your Uncle Mikey, your Uncle Aaron, your Aunt Carolyn, and the entire gang here at Texas Card House Austin. Okay, here we go. $20 strat open on for a fair amount of the night. Now, with a 900-plus viewers mark, decent. We welcome you in. If you guys enjoyed the 500K guarantee final table earlier, you can check that out on the archive, as well as each and every freaking episode of TCH Live. It's been well over. We're going to be getting close to like the 200 mark here really soon, because we reached 100 and. All right, we got Pierre with the 3-bet to 250.
And Colby calls this pretty quickly. Just, I guess, happy to play this one in position. And 9-high flop here. Rainbow Pier flops the best of it. Had the best hand pre as well, but now does have top pair. So here he can bet, sort of try to deny equity from a hand like a queen jack, ace queen, things of that nature. Also potentially get value from them if they decide to float as well. 10 jacks of the world are certainly going to come along as well, so you can get some value from that hand. Bet a 180 and a call. Off to a turn we go. 890 in the middle. Brick City, 3 of spades on the turn here. And wow, if we look at all of the outs that Colby's drawing to, so many of them have been folded out that we've seen. He's literally drawing to the 10 of spades.
One outer.
Oh my goodness. Looks like we have a check and now a bet of 505. The New Mexico area code going in here.
All right.
Check call 505 from
okay, I'm going to remember that now. So here we go. Heads up to the end. It's a 7 whiffs here for Colby.
Yeah, and I imagine this is going to go check. Yep, check from Pierre, and now Colby has to decide if he's gonna fire at this again. The thing is, if he had value, he'd almost always check this back because just that is a super connected board. Brings in another set of 2-pair type hands for the 8-7s of the world. But he's going to go for it, and once again, similar to before, sort of chooses this half-pot sizing, giving his opponent a fairly reasonable calling price. And here, I mean, to me, this is just a slam dunk check call.
Boom.
But
It's like reverse slam dunk. Eyes closed, flush down the net, insta call. Maybe not that dramatic.
well, Pierre certainly is taking his time with it. I mean, I think he's trying to work through the different combos of what would bet the turn as a bluff. And 10 Jack is solidly in there. He doesn't block it, and 10 Jack just got there. But he is going to call it. Colby is going to flip over the queen high. The pair of nines is going to take it down. So Colby caught hand in the cookie jar once again. And Pierre, the recipient of a 3.3K pot right there. So nicely done by him.
Just another Monday here on the TCH Live. If you want to join us here in the chat, you can certainly do so. I'd love to hear from you. Well, Aaron, you've got the Thursday 2-5. If you can't get enough of big stakes, no limit action here in Texas. Again, tomorrow night's 5, 10, 20 game going up in Dallas. Wednesday has been kind of it's either 2-5 or PLO. Like Wednesdays, I think it's like Wild Card Wednesdays at TCH Dallas. Like, who knows what the game could be, but it will have a lot of action in tournament final tables on Saturday and Sunday, including our Steps tournament each and every. Sunday. All right, there we go.
Well, if it's Wildcard Wednesday, then we should get a deuce to 7 single draw, no limit on that night someday.
Get Victor on the horn and say we demand some wild. Okay, we had Big O. We've had Pot Limit Omaha. They've had 2-5. I think they've had 1-3.
Okay.
Or 2-5, or just 2-5.
Definitely
but
needs some deuce
it's been a couple of Wild Card Wednesday on TCH Live. Josh Litz, great job as always tonight, boys. Augustine Galindo says thanks for the great content.
Dropping us the $4.99 super chat. Thank you very much, man. We appreciate you for that.
Again, freedom isn't free. Make sure to toss in your buck 05. All right, Bones open, Sparks 3 bets, and a board that connects with both. Bones here with the best fit, but top pair and backdoor hearts. Sparks here with second pair, King Keka.
Yeah, so here's another one of these situations. Previously, we saw Pierre bet 2 streets with his effective second pair. Sparks here goes for the quick check, and this is probably the more orthodox way to play this. Is just to check your second pairs. Bones checks it back. We get a heart on the turn, which gives Bones top pair and a heart flush draw. Sparks checks it once again. Bones bets 400 here into a pot of 6. And let's see here. Sparks does not have a heart or a club in hand, so neither the front door flush or back door flush draws are blocked by his hand. He's got a pretty good bluff catching hand at this point. He is going to put in the call, and off to a river we go. Needs to get bailed out with a king or a queen on the river. It's another ace, and this is very likely to get Sparks to pay off a value bet here on the end. And Bones can go very polar here as he can represent the missed flush draws and get his opponent to pay him off with a queen a lot of the time. This is even a spot for an overbet. Let's see if Bones goes for that, or maybe even just something close to a pot size bet.
Let's see what he decides.
I'm very excited for that third fight.
Here we go. Let's grab some pinks. So he's going to put a plaque out there, it looks like.
All right, he's going to go for the smaller size here. And, I mean, I think this is going to get called. I do think a bigger bet would have gotten called as well. But, yeah, Bones just going to go for the just about, what is that? 3/4 pot size bet.
Decision back here to Sparks says.
July 19th is sticking out.
I mean, the thing here is that Sparks actually beats maybe even one combo of value from Bones. Queen Jack just might bet. Try to get value. Although Queen Jack would block Jacks, which would be the hand it would target. I don't know. All of these things are kind of tough to figure out on the fly, but it is bet at 1,000. Pot's going to go up to 3.4K if Sparks calls. Is he going to be good 1 in 3 times? A little bit better than that? I think the answer is probably yes with the busted draws out there. However, this price does sort of scream call me, which is almost why the larger bet, the full pot or over bet, is even a little bit more like, this seems a little fishy. Sparks putting in the time in the tank. Look at him. He's doing the math. The old eyes rolled up into the head. That's definitely the, let me add this over to there. Carry the 1, carry the 3, carry the 5, and fold.
Is doing air math, like up in the clouds, like back when you were in 5th grade, you were already doing like physics equations.
Yep.
Super genius Aaron. It's not kidding.
Well, Super Genius Sparks finds the fold button,
Hell yes.
and he gets away from it there. So, wow, good for him. I mean, I'm not sure that that's like a quote-unquote correct fold or whatever from the GTO universe, but he is going to get away from it. Doesn't pay that one off. And there you have it, moving right along.
So now time for your big hands while I'm away. So I will step away, and there will probably be some like
a $20K pot,
$20,000 pot while I step out. So Aaron McAvoy with you guys.
All right. So Mikey going to go get some fresh air, maybe use the restroom. We will continue along here. The pretty standard $20 straddle coming in here from Boots. Big Daddy Chaz first to act. He's out of the way. And over to Eli. Let's see if he's got anything worth splashing around with. He does not. Bones, though, suited 7-6. That's good enough for an open. Pierre and Colby have rags over and around to the blinds and the straddle. Yareem here out of the big blind with a couple of sailboats. He's going to come in for the call. And we are heads up going to a flop here. Bones, a couple of overcards, suited connectors, and Yareem with the baby pair of 4s. Ace, Queen, 10, not the flop either player was really dreaming of. However, this does favor Bones' range. He can put out a C-bet, and Yareem will snap fold. Bones will take it down, and on to the next one. All right, taking a look here at the chat. JTN1968 joining us says, sorry I'm late. Hey, no problem, man. Good to have you. Thanks for joining us, and thank you to the other 800 and some of you fine folks who are joining us this evening. Great to have you. Thanks for coming along. We are just shy of 200 likes on the counter. We appreciate those of you who have already done so by hitting that like button. But if anybody else is watching this and enjoys what they're seeing, help us out. Hit that like button. Let's get it up to 500 so super producer Carolyn can do a broth bomb with Mikey and I. And if we don't get that far, so be it. But it does help us get this program a little bit more recognition and out into the YouTube universe. So also, be sure to check us out on Thursday. I will be hosting the 2-5 Match the Stack, No Limit Texas Hold'em game that night, as well as our Dallas streams tomorrow night, Tuesday, the 10, 20, oftentimes 40, 80, you name it, as well as their Wednesday stream. Each and every night of the week, except for Friday, you got TCH live action streaming to you here on the internets. JTN1968 here dropping us a $10 super chat. He says, time to contribute to the TCH Medicine Cabinet. Thank you very much. We appreciate that a ton, man. Thanks. All right, Yareem here with a couple of ladies. Raise it up to 125, and Eli out of the straddle. Queen 4 offsuit in a real bad spot, but dodges any sort of connection with that flop. All clubs. Yareem, the only player with a club. He's going to check it, give Eli an opportunity to do something on this 4 of spades turn. Eli picking up a pair. This is frequently a spot you're just going to check and be like, I don't know, if we're ever good, then we... or whatever. Sorry, of course. Yareem was first, and he checked the flop. So now he's going to bet 85, and Eli will call. Needs a 4 and a 4 only. Oh, it's a queen. Oh, my God. The case queen comes out, and this is disaster for Eli. Not that this pot is probably going to blow up too big, given the fact that there are 3 clubs out there, but Yareem going to go for value here, and I cannot see Eli doing anything but put more chips in this pot, at least as a call. He almost certainly thinks that he just got there And bet a 95. This is a smallish bet, too. This is almost just begging to get raised. And Eli will oblige. He fires out a raise up to something like 400 or 500. Yareem snap calls. It was a raise to 500. Yareem snaps it off. His cards got turned over. It was just like 1 queen. And Eli's like, I can beat 1 queen. But, oh, I can't beat 2 queens. What on earth? How did that happen? What a dirty run out for Eli. Running 2 pair on just a flop where he is just going to fold all day. And he gets roped into putting a bet of 500 out there on the end. My goodness. So sometimes that's the way the cookie crumbles, and it has been crumbling pretty viciously here for our boy Eli. Uncle Eli taking some damage. All right, so yeah, that was something else, and we have been seeing a lot of good hands, as we usually do here on TCH Live. Lots of action, lots of chips flying around, and that was just the first hand after Mikey stepped out of the booth. So, or our first big one, I should say. So let's see if we can get another 1 or 2 in before Mikey comes on back. Bones 5-3 offsuit. Apparently that one not part of the wager, so only the suited variety will get him involved. So he'll pitch that one in. Colby Queen Jack offsuit again. He got tangled up with this hand once earlier. He's back at it. Raise it up to 75, and Eli out of the straddle puts in his money. Let's see a flop.
I really wanted to see Gaethje and
We got David Dante's here in the chat. He says, maybe don't play Queen 4. What's up, Dante? Yeah, Queen 4, not a great hand. That is the truth. However, 6-7 can flop trips when your opponent flops top pair. So maybe do play that one. I don't know. Words are hards, pokers are hards. But Eli in a really good spot right now as he check calls a bet of 100. Colby going to continue going for value here and hoping that Eli has something like 7s, 8s, maybe 5s or 4s that just gets a little bit sticky. And after calling out of the straddle, it could also have some weaker queens, something like a Queen 8, Queen 7, something of that nature. Goes for the check call on the bet of 250, and now a 10 of spades, and now it's starting to get a little bit weird. Colby doesn't beat a ton of hands that had a queen in it anymore. And Eli rips it in. Colby snap calls. And the flopped trip 6 is going to be good for Eli. So Eli gets a full double through Colby. And that'll breathe a little bit of air, wind back into the sails of our boy Eli. And Mikey's back.
Is my mic muted here? Or? Okay, cool. Just making sure. I think go on some rant again. But all right, JTM's back. Joel, let's see. Probably already mentioned it. $10 super chat. Appreciate you. 230 likes. Decent pace.
We're cruising, man. We might get you that broth bomb.
Yeah, it is. I may regret it, but 350 is the bottom line that I will do it. 400 for Aaron, 500 for Carolyn if we reach that mark here tonight. So I don't know. Are we going just till 10, or are we gonna go till like the?
You insult the guy's family. You insult his religion.
Okay, so we'll go tell quarter after.
Yeah. Okay.
No, not so much.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So we've got a little bit of time here. So just about under an hour. David Dante asked, how did you do in the tourney, Aaron? Do you want to relive this?
Yeah, no, I'm happy to. So fired the 11 a.m. flight out there in Dallas and was at one table the entire day. We didn't break. I didn't get moved, and it was the God's gifts from the heavens in terms of the table draw. And by the time we got down to the last 60 players, 36 bagged. We were down to the last 60 players or so. I was the last OG at the table.
Yeah.
And from when we opened it up that morning, all new players had been mixed in, and all of those were also just fantastic players to go up against. So it was a dream. And then things just kind of went a little bit sideways there towards the end. I had peaked up, I don't know, maybe 400K or so, and then just dwindled down, and the blinds kept going up. then our table did finally break. I moved to a new spot, got it all in. Ace queen of hearts for 15 bigs. Got looked up by jacks, and we couldn't win the flip, so I was out about 43rd place. Again, 36 were bagging. So grounded out all day just to miss a bag. And then I was pretty wore down, pretty beat, didn't have a meal in me or anything.
Right.
And fired up the 6 p.m. late reg and just ran into a brick wall left and right. So pretty rough go, but had a good time, and obviously always going to take a shot with a prize pool that big.
Oh, yeah. And we can't probably wait for whenever the next one might be, which, who knows? But I imagine after the success of this tournament that I imagine it's already in the works to try to figure out when we could gather up and do another big special tournament like that. So
absolutely. I mean, that could be a quarterly.
I would think, like, at least semi-annually. I mean, we've got the big WPT Steps tournament that Step 1 is the Sunday, and then Step 2 is the monthly main, and then Step 3 is the final 6 winners of each of the Step 2s for the right to go to the WPT Steps Championship on a cruise in late October. So even if we don't get to that point, there's still going to be some really good stuff to compete for here at TCH. Austin, Houston, and Rio Grande Valley. Dallas not participating in that particular promotion, but nonetheless, for all the other folks here, it's still a lot to fight for. So ace, queen, deuces, 9-8.
All of these players battling out of the blinds and straddles as well. So interesting dynamic as Ryan opened bones, called Colby 3-bet, and then call. Checks through to an 8 of hearts on the turn. That's going to give Ryan the best pair with a pair of 8s now. Sorry, 2 pair, 9s and 8s. I mean, my goodness, I totally missed that, apparently. Go ahead and lead out for 550. Bones out of the way with the deuces, and Colby now with just a gutter and 2 overs.
That guy's fucking exciting.
Doesn't feel great, but yeah, I think you just got to let this one go.
Yeah, it is. I'm towing along that same lines as you are, Aaron. As
Colby going to think it over. I can't really imagine him doing anything other than that. I mean, I've gotten several of the actions from these players wrong in terms of my prognosticating, but he does just find the fold button there after a little bit of thinking.
Yeah, there's always kind of that, like, this is probably what you expect, and every once in a while, players mixing things up. As you see our plus-minus right now. Jeremy, the biggest winner here, courtesy of that massive 3-way pot. And Ben, well, as cliche it is to say, a lot of action here on our Monday edition of TCH Live. We had a few cancellations of folks who can't make it, and we still had ample people to step up here to the plate to want to get tangled up in the felt. And if you want to be such a person, you can email tchlist@texascardhouse.com or can text us here at 512-843-1971.
All right, we got our straddle and a double straddle up to $40, so playing off of a $40 blind effective. Folds on through over to Big Daddy Chaz. He's reaching for chips, so he will be putting in a wager. Taking it up to 150 here with the suited wheel ace. Folds over and around to the big straddle.
Yep.
And let's see what he's got. Pier there. All Pier with a suited ace of his own. Ace-9 of clubs.
Nice.
Even better.
All right, ace-9. Big Daddy Chaz lost the big pop with ace-4 suited early. Ahead yet again as he's out-flopped the ace. And going to go ahead and put a bet through, and going to go ahead and just take that one down as somebody with a random comment about area. Chip Hostutler, West Virginia, in the house. This guy has overcome black lung from working in a coal mine to be able to join us in the chat.
Nice.
I could make a lot worse stereotypes about West Virginia, and I'm from Iowa, so I'm in a glass house, so to speak, so I can't talk too much shit. But
yep.
Well,
We know somebody else from West Virginia.
yeah, it's junior producer Seth.
Yeah.
The pride of WVU. You can see him in a West Virginia mask if you come on out here to TCH shows. I know, but he still is a very proud Mountaineer fan. So he is our lone representative of what is the state? Every state has got a tagline. What is West Virginia's slogan?
I don't
Almost
have any.
heaven. Monte Semper Liberi. Of course, Mountaineers are always free. It's the official motto of state of West Virginia. So
Nice.
I guess that's if you go on Jeopardy. You know that little factoid now. All right, enough of our rambling. It's Rant Monday. It's Rant Monday here on TCH.
Put microphones on Aaron and Mikey. That's how you get
just
rants.
Non-stop. As the flop goods here for Boots. Who also flops a royal draw.
Yeah.
Here with Jeremy with top pair backdoor clubs. Eli with nothing.
Yeah, Boots has flopped all of this, so not only the freaking stone nutters right now, but a redraw to the even more stone nutters. He bets out, and Jeremy with top pair, pretty much non-existent kicker, but he's also got backdoor clubs, is going to make the call for 150. Off to a turn. Jeremy doesn't want to see a 7 or a club. That is neither, so it's a 9 of hearts. And with the connectedness of this board, Boots betting again would likely scare Jeremy off. See if Bones or Boots gets tricky here, but no, he's got to keep piling money in with the nizzles.
Nutter butters.
See if he can get his opponent to come along. Pump that pot up. Let's see, Boots here putting out a bet, 425. Just a little under pot size, maybe 3/4 pot, and Jeremy has assumed the folding position and will pitch it in. So Boots will get no more action as he shows his neighbor, like, damn, dude, how do I flop so good and not get paid?
Run the river for me. Some people will ask to do that, but I always say there's a river tax if somebody wants to get a river card. I said, like, if you want to see it, like, it's just a little tax there, and that will get my arm in motion to put out. I maybe shouldn't have shared that, but nonetheless, Mike Gimlet, Aaron McAvoy, we're hanging out here for probably another 40, 45 minutes or so. It's a little bit later start as we allow all the fine folks of our audience to tune into the 500K Guarantee Tournament final table up in Dallas. If you missed that stream, you can check it out here in the archive. Hit it up with a like, leave a comment. Continue to shoot us out into the YouTube world for the fine folks that may not already be subscribed. We're almost at 3 million total views of all the content.
Nice, dude.
So it's about 2,875,000 total views.
We're like the McDonald's of the poker universe.
A million views each and every year. And we won't give you a gut ache or whatever. Like, they used to have that motto, like, over 9 billion served. You're like, how do you count all that shit? You know?
Yeah.
Just the varying transactions. We don't want to go on a rant here. This is like having Dennis Miller here on the show. It's like, I don't want to go off on a rant here. But you're going to, Dennis, so... Boy,
we've got our
Dennis Miller references for anybody that's not under the age of 30, I guess.
We've got ourselves some spice, a little bit of spice here, because we had an open to 75 from Big Daddy Chaz, Eli calling in between 6-3 of diamonds, Ryan going for a large 3-bet, and now Sparks out of the straddle, looking to come in for a cold 4. And there it is, takes it up to 1500 on the cold 4-bet.
Yeah.
Big Daddy Chaz snap mugged Eli right behind him. And Ryan, this is the spot where the suited wheel ace was like, we had plans. We had good things going on here. It was like we were going to get the opener to fold. This guy who called us in between, or called him in between, he's going to fold. But now we just got cold 4-bet. That doesn't feel good. I don't think you're going to want to over-bluff this and fire it off. And sure enough, Ryan agrees, lets it go, and Sparks will take down a nice little pot there without even having to see a flop or make a pair.
Well, Captain Underpairs brought up a point earlier that he's like, hey, Aaron, I always enjoy listening. Like, it makes me want to study more. And I
Cool.
see if I
I like to get it off of that person.
ask this accurately, but is there a secret? Not necessarily a secret, but like people say study, but like what exactly are you studying? You're watching a live stream that you played on to examine certain spots, or hands that you've played out on the felt, and you're replaying and running it through solvers. Like, I'm just kind of curious because I think there's obviously more than one way to skin a cat. Obviously, don't skin a cat, but as the turn of phrase goes. But what is effective studying in poker?
Well, it's going to be different for everybody because we all operate in different ways. But yeah, so there's a lot of different ways, and you've named a bunch of them, which is going back and looking at hands that you previously played, either talking with other strong players and trying to understand like their thought processes and how it would have shaken out had they played the hand, getting just some criticism from them or a critique based on what you've done. You can plug it into solvers as well. I mean, the solver work is a little bit tricky because it assumes that your opponent is playing in a GTO manner. And so you can do some node locking and you can change things to make it more like what a live player is going to be doing. But it's really tough. Unless you're playing against absolute crushers who are playing GTO, the results that you're going to get are just not going to be like the equivalent of what you should have done or how you should play it. So the solver work is a little bit tricky. If you're playing online, like higher stakes cash or tournaments online.
Tournaments are probably an easier thing to run through solvers.
Absolutely. So all of that work can definitely be done. But I think by and large, it's really just like putting aside time to pay attention. Just like sit down and watch poker, like either like a video or a quiz
training
or a training site or even watching the hands up, like hole cards exposed, like final tables of some big tournaments. Right? Or like late night cash games or whatever the poker after dark kind of stuff. And you can watch and get an insight into the minds of some players that are playing at the top levels and try to incorporate at least the aspects of the game that you can understand into the way that you play.
Well, Pierre putting in a check raise on the 9 of clubs, 6 of clubs board with the Jack 10 of clubs gets Jeremy to fold out a top pair and Chaz to fold out an ace high with backdoor spades, and he just picks up the Potskis there as Lelaine, Tellis Nunez. Hey, y'all, give a shout out to East Texas. Husband and I play at TCH Dallas once a month. Starlings. Hey, I'm happy to give a shout out to East Texas.
Heck
There
yeah.
are fine folks out there tuning on in.
Thanks for joining us tonight, Lelaine. And yeah, glad that you get out and play at TCH Dallas. Hopefully, anybody who's been watching here that hasn't gotten out to TCH Dallas or any of our other locations.
Someday, somehow, somewhere.
Yeah, man, it's fantastic. A lot of action up there.
Definitely going to be worth a trip at some point. If you want to shout out here as well, you can also do so here with the super sticker or super chat. Over 250 likes. We need 100 more, and I will take down a broth bomb. And you've got about not 20, but got about a half hour to be able to accomplish it. So it's a doable number that I am going to be forced to drink tequila with. Our patented chicken broth here served in the Mr. Coffee machines. Again, it is a divided system up that, it's not like the coffee's mixed with it. There's different containers, but the chicken broth has always been a fan favorite of many people in the room. So, all right, Aaron, let me drink this water, and I will have a little bit of.
Okay. Yeah. So
I'll have a little bit of that whiskey.
Yeah, the coffee machines here at TCH Austin are fantastic. They will give you a wide arrangement of different beverages, hot, delicious beverages, and yeah, you pretty much can't go wrong with the free coffee here at TCH Austin. So
I can't. All right, cheers, buddy.
Eli here, just ace high. Colby with a pair of threes does have the best hand. It is effective third pair on this board, and can't be feeling too great about it. And Eli bets 80. Colby calls, though. He's not done with this yet, which, yeah, there's effectively one meaningful overcard, and you can always turn an open-ender, as he does here. Eli picks up a gutter, and that will give him the equity, perhaps, to continue betting, which it does, which he does. Very small turn bet here, 140. So it doesn't even quite double the flop bet. And Colby will call, gets an ace on the end, and Colby has run out a straight once again.
Running pretty decently here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, he's had some bluffs picked off that haven't worked out very well for him, but he has backed into some hands. So this, I think, is at least his second, if not his third hand where he's backed into a very strong holding. And Eli blasting out 300 here after he picks up the ace, targeting a queen here for value. And Colby going to give him the bad news with a raise here. And let's see if Colby goes for all of it or just some sort of
just above
small. Yeah, this is a small bet. And Eli is like, what?
What the hell?
Are you serious?
I think I know what's going on in Colby's mind right now.
Oh, the McFarland.
Wait, I gotta.
Oh.
I gotta hit unpause.
Not quite the
I was wondering what you were going to come up with. So, yeah, this is one of those spots where, like, people just don't raise here with bluffs very often, but Eli is going to pay it off. He's like, I made a pair of aces, man.
It's got to be good.
Damn it.
It's tough for him to imagine he's got pocket threes in the spot. When it rains, it pours, and it is pouring right now for our good friend Mike Eli.
Yeah, Eli going through the ringer here tonight, running into it a little bit left and right, also getting in to a few marginal spots with some holdings that just don't play very well. He's had them connect, but in bad ways for him. Like you stepped out of the booth, he called out of the straddle with queen 4 offsuit after Yareem had opened with queens. He's the lone caller out of the straddle.
Oh.
A flop, 3 clubs, total bricks, no pairs, whatever. Check, picks up a 4, bets and a call, rivers a queen against pocket queens. It was just unbelievable. Yeah, that's
kind of what the feeling's like.
For sure.
What's up, Steam Doula? This is What's Up, Aaron, Mr. Dude talking, the great Steam Doula. Break out your 8 of spades. To the point that he's got like an 8 of spades card protector now, and that's what awesome a guy Steam is. We have a Mike Eli shove here with the $40 straddle out to at least like 685.
685.
If there's not a red chip hidden in there, I think that's what is left standing, and we'll see if anybody picks up a hand out of the blinds or the straddles. He puts it in with 8-7.
Yeah, it's unclear. This may have been blind.
Chaz is calling him, though.
Well, this may have been blind.
Yeah.
Right?
This was totally blind, and he's going to... This has happened before, but it was off-stream. Chaz is going to call him with jack high, and he does pair up a 5, a gutter ball here for Mike Eli. It's 8-7-5 good. Still needs the same, and it is going to be a 9. Chaz going to win it with 5s and 9s with an ace. And tough night here for Mike Eli. Continues to spiral downward as Chaz calling him blind out of the $40 double straddle. And, well, comes up the winner chicken dinner. That's right, folding is boring. This is our good friend Rampage. So, all right. Anytime we mention Rampage, I don't know if you guys know. Do you guys know who Rampage is?
Rampage?
Rampage?
Rampage.
Rampage does. We continue here, 5-10 night on a TCH Live. It looks like I may not have to do the broth bomb. Nobody seems to be that inspired to smash that like button 350 times to make me have to endure chicken broth and tequila, the Los Pollos Hermanos. But Eli is going to come back out here and keep on swinging. This is not a man that knows what the meaning of give up is. He literally doesn't. It is kind of a cognitive dissonance. So he does not know what giving up
I think the
means.
tune's only like another.
No, I think that's the case. But either way,
Yeah, it's shortened the
he's
ship.
gonna keep firing.
Yeah, fire away until something
doing,
sticks.
10%
Not clear if this is, yeah, this is a $100 straddle. So 5, 10,
It could have been a
20,
raise,
100.
So
Oh,
these are the 20.
yeah,
it
yeah.
was a
No,
straddle. Okay,
I was pretty
alright.
sure he'd pitched it out there before the cards were done being dealt.
He could have raised dark, but it seems very unlikely. That
Yeah, he does have the action here, and he checks as Jeremy is going to flat the 100 with King 5 of clubs, the old God on special. So Eli here with 4 high.
that's at 4-3. That's Jaywin's hand, isn't it? Yep.
All right, Jaywin versus God on, and it is going to run out
For God on, looks
for
like.
God on. Yep, King high good.
Let's see. Steam Dola says I don't count comps as a win, and yes, losing at poker was the plus EV play, so you could win at craps. There's somebody I would enjoy just hanging out in Vegas with, like, just seeing whatever random game Steam Dola winds up into. I think that would make for the trip, but
Oh, yeah.
someday we will all gather in Vegas, TCH Legends, and meet with all the fans out there. Are you gonna when they get the WSOP? It's like they're saying that's gonna be like in the fall, right? They figure they're gonna actually have a real one. That's not.
That is the plan. They don't have a schedule out, but they have dates, tentative dates, and sort of an inkling of how they're going to start things off. They've hinted
Right.
at a 25K horse event, or a 50K, I think it's 25K horse event, and some other things. So they've been dropping some little crumbs.
Little Easter eggs.
Yeah, just to kind of keep everybody excited and everything. I'm very much excited. I love to go out there. The WSOP in Vegas is one of my favorite things to go to. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see how it all shakes out, what exactly the schedule is, when the games that I am interested in playing are going to be running. And of course, the main event dates are going to be, of course, the one that everybody is really looking forward to finding out about.
Hey, we got V and we've got Ernesto in the chat, aka The Way. Bush Mills Joints, our good friend Ernesto out in Portugal for international viewers. Hey, we got William Lottie. Says they've got day one dates for the main. Okay, do you expect Lottie to be on top of that?
All right, well, fantastic. I hadn't heard that set in stone yet, so Lottie staying up to date on all of the good things WSOP, so excellent. That's
He's
fantastic.
dropping us a Lottie line on the chat.
How's it going out there in Vegas, buddy? You, I saw that you dusted off Chip's bluffing into the nuts, but
yeah, I always appreciate Lottie's like chip updates. You know, he's giving you the loop every time there's a deviation. Like, that's the Facebook content I'm used for.
Yep.
I will go on a rant here, but Facebook, except for our TCH Austin, make sure to check that out. That's actually not, but it's pretty good, you know.
we got Gordon in the chat. He says King 5 of clubs never loses. I knew he was lurking out there
He is
somewhere.
out there.
It just took the King 5 of clubs to bring him out of the woodwork.
That is.
Thanks for joining us, buddy. Good to see you.
Good, buddy.
And sorry, Gordon, that you didn't ship that tournament. Gordon did make day 2, and he made a solid run during day 2, but he did hit the showers before it was all said and done.
Eli, though, does make a straight here, so just kind of pick up the chat. Cody's Mojo, just say you listen to a lot of the Monday morning podcast. Not as much as I used to, but you can't ever replicate Bill Burr's timing or his inflection points, his ability to kind of step away from the mic. So that's often imitated, never duplicated, as sometimes is thrown around here. The irony of which I see on posters. So, okay. 268 likes, 800 plus live viewers. I'm kind of sweating bullets here, but we might fade this, we might hit it. Who knows?
Yeah, well, last time we were in much more dangerous territory,
Oh,
and
of
then
course.
like got there, right? And it was like, oh no.
He even posted it that he's like, I'm going to be the 350th like he was sitting waiting for the opportunity to be the guy to do it. maybe there's other people like that out there just waiting to be that 350th like to try to torture, man.
Yeah, well, if there's like 70 of them, then we'll get there. But
There are 70 non-believers or haters. Shout out to the haters. Shout out to the FBI and the NSA tuning in as always.
no.
No, kidding. But
Tuning in as always.
can't say much more than that. All right. As we continue here, 510 edition. Like somebody or Mac for us. Producer Carolyn. We'll be back here on Thursday for 2-5 match stack, and then our Sunday tournament final table, which typically is 6:30, 7 o'clock. Around that time, we will always try to keep you updated in the chat when we think that will go on, but it's always kind of lo and behold to how many entries. We see Colby folding the AT&T, the 9 Triz, because it never connects to anybody. Let's take that, AT&T.
Pierre going to open the 9-8 of hearts. Interestingly enough, I ripped it all in with ace-9 on sub 15 big blinds, and a lady looked me up with the 9-8 of hearts. So I was in a dominating position. I flopped trip aces. It was fantastic. Got a much-needed double up. And it was, that was the sort of thing that was happening left and right, was just like, oh, I like this hand.
Yeah,
like you're all in for a lot of chips. It doesn't matter.
This hand's got a vibe to it.
Yeah, I
It's
like
a vibe.
Yep.
I'm going to post this on Instagram. It's a vibe. Oh, yeah, shut
Hell
up.
yeah.
All right, now 3-bet here to 250.
The cards in my hand.
I don't want to go on a rant on Instagram either.
I've like said it out loud.
All-time number of rants here tonight. We're just getting it off your chest Monday.
Yeah. Sometimes you just got to vent,
Oh, there's a joint here for Boats who's going to roll this up and smoke it right now with the 6-high straight. It's like, I flopped it. Not time to light up.
Yeah, well, unfortunately for him, neither of his opponents have a damn thing to go with
He's
this.
going to be sharing this one alone.
780 in the middle. He's going to fire out what looks to be 450, I should say. And Eli is going to come along with the 2 overs. Oh, my God.
You're drawing dead here, buddy.
Well, just about drawn to a chop.
Yeah,
so...
worst thing you could see here is a king or a jack, which maybe Boots will get him to scram here if he bets a turn, because...
I don't know. I mean, I honestly wouldn't even hate a check back here from Boots, but, I mean, it is weird with the front door diamonds right there, and you want to get all the chips in. The stacked pot ratio is 1, so you could check, give your opponent a chance to just, like, spew it in on the river, but he's going to continue betting for value, 550 here, and Eli, who floated this very opportunistically, luckily for him, didn't hit a pair, but I guess, yeah, now he just gets out of the way. So Eli is trying to make things work. He's going to try in every different way that he can think of, and so far, just nothing sticking for that man.
Hey, listen to the chat. Says, why does everyone look dead inside? Probably because you're projecting. Might be projection.
But
All right. We keep the rip roar in action here, which has been, to be fair, a pretty good night here. We thought we might have 2 pretty good players here for the stream, but we're not able to make it. But hey, that is breaks. That's life. Plenty of other folks who still want to be a part of the action. Again, if you want to get in, again, that TCH live list at Texas Card House. If you want to play on the Dallas stream, the details on that are Dallas at TexasCardHouse.com or call 469-521-9269. So if you're maybe a little bit closer to that area, that is the gateway to get a part of the action. Up there is Pierre with some Judies. I think it's our first Judies of the night. Have we seen many Judies here tonight?
We've seen some out on the board, but not in hand. I do think this may actually be the first time we've seen the pocket Judies, which is sort of extraordinary because looking at this many hands, you'd think it would have popped up.
At some point, somebody's got maybe we missed it, but
that was also another curious thing was during the tournament, I got pocket aces a couple of times, no kings, no queens, no jacks. It was sort of curious, right? Like,
Yeah.
and we always you can always look at a snapshot of your
hand distribution and all
yeah.
that.
But when you're in a tournament, right? Like it's those big pairs that really just sort of stand out in your mind of and that was the moment that I doubled up and then had 50 big blinds and made it to the next break, right? Yeah.
All right, Bones putting in a 3-bet here with Ace King suited. As Eli stuck in between, Sparks stuck in between. Pierre now here with the decision to either try to put in the 4-bet or just come along here for the ride for 265 more.
Yeah, the strange part here is that Sparks and Eli calling, it puts Pierre in a position to 4-bet more often, as Bones can be attacking this more frequently himself, given the fact that those players called. So Pierre, not only does he have a really good hand, but it will play better as a 4-bet rather than a call, because that invites the other players in. Then you're playing a 4-way pot with just a couple of Judies. So he does opt for the 4-bet up to 1.3K.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, is Pierre called Sparks 4-bet here?
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Oh,
So it's a Pierre call,
is
and then
this
Sparks
correct?
puts in the 4-bet here to 1.3K. Like
This is a flat call into a 4-bet from Sparks.
yeah, so like Bones 3-bets, Pierre calls, and then Sparks, who had previously called just the opening raise, is now going to do a back raise up to 1.3K, which is just wild.
This is not something
really.
you see.
Well, I mean, it's kind of balanced because it's not the move that you necessarily expect from him in that spot. He has been kind of more on the snug side of things. Bones obviously not going to fold here, but it is a curveball nonetheless that maybe if he gets a board out here, he may have the ability to be able to take this away from Bones, and that may just be what happens.
And they just had a very curious interaction right there as Pierre actually folds the pocket Judies and the best hand. But Bones said something to Sparks, and Sparks kind of gave him the shoulder shrug, and they had a little bit of back and forth there, which is sort of very interesting. Whenever these hands that get a little bit off the rails, this doesn't happen very often, and the players start talking to each other, it's very curious to see.
Bones is kind of like the king of needlers, I think, in this part. So he could just very well just be kind of shit talking, or else. I'm not sure. That's maybe you can pick up the table mic a little bit more than I, but
no, I don't have it going in my headset, but yeah. So
read
Sparks,
body language, but we can't read lips.
Exactly. Sparks though is going to go for a very small c-bet here. Goes for the what is this? Just about quarter pot size bet. Yeah, 1,500, not a quarter pot size bet. Bones here with the ace king in position. He's going to put in the call. And while this may look just like, what the hell, you just got ace high here, no spades in sight. If you just roll over every time your opponent c-bets, they're just going to print money on you. So he does need to defend this one a fair bit of the time. He's going to go for the check again on the turn. And Sparks now. Does he continue telling the story? He went for the flat call back raise, and this so frequently is like ace king exactly that it's bizarre. Sparks doing it with the ace queen, and what else is he doing it with is the real question, right?
Bones looking very intently here at Sparks. I mean, more so than I think we typically see. As the check back may, okay, so
I think
unpaired
Bones,
board, if Sparks makes any kind of bet, do you think Bones, how quickly do you think he snaps him?
Yeah, I think Bones is absolutely certain, to the 99th percentile, that he has the best hand. And now is do I actually bet for value, or do I check and let him bluff? And honestly, I think he's going to go for value here. I honestly do. I mean,
it's also one of those things here where could Sparks also do this with, say, a hand like pocket nines, pocket eights, or jacks? It's not out of the realm of possibility, but how Bones puts this all together, I think, is maybe different than maybe how you or I might look at this.
Sure.
So it's the diamond on the end for sure, like he says. Kind of throws a curveball into this, and we'll go to showdown here. Bones going to win it with ace king high, Sparks mucks, and there's a happy fist pump by Bones, who seems to be very emphatic of being able to finally beat a hand in Sparks. So
Yeah, and he said he's saying something there at the end, and it may have been like anything you bet, I snap, and who knows what was said right there. But I almost thought that Bones had like sort of seen through this and was like, well, maybe you just have like some funky wheel ace or whatever, and I can actually like bet 1/5 pot, and you'll actually look me up. Similar to earlier when he had aces and boots, just bet like 150,
right.
and he's like, oh God, fine, I call. I don't know. That was a fascinating hand. Really loved how that played out, and honestly, just amazing stuff.
You need to understand that everything you do at the poker table conveys information.
I just love making fun of that quote, because I think the best parody I've ever seen in my life was that time when Polk was needling him, and he's like, he took you on the he took the whole montage of everything that you could totally flame Daniel for, and he put that one in there.
And spliced it all together. Dude, that is
That
hands
was one
down
of the
the best
funniest,
video.
and I want to put that soundbite in there just randomly for the future.
No, that is an epic montage that the Upswing Poker folks put
Polk's
together.
not super likable. You can't not admit that guy was really fucking funny during a lot of this. Like it's, I'm not saying the guy's perfect, but you know, but we actually get real comedy, I think, in the poker world. It's much to be appreciated. This. All right, Boots here with the overs. Colby here with top pair king kicker, some backdoor clubs, and now a straight draw though. But Boots with top pair on the board with a queen and an ace kicker.
Yeah, Adelbaum here in the chat saying, how is he going to bet, quote unquote, for value with ace king high, bro? Like worse is going to call. You're not wrong, like from a traditional standpoint, that you generally wouldn't do that. You have like a bluff catcher type hand. But it was in that moment, like Bones had just been like staring him down, and when Sparks checks the turn back, it's like, oh my God, here is an actual opportunity where you can go for value with ace king. I've done it. I've seen other people do it. And not necessarily was it going to work in that spot, or should he have done it, or whatever. But there are times where going for value with ace king will absolutely get called by worse.
Hashtag Texas Poker.
Yes, that is also
that's kind of half of it,
case.
and it's. I mean, there are some times where you get a fairly innocent board like that in a 4-bet scenario where somebody will put a big trap in checking the turn, but it's just not. I mean, the frequency that I see it here in this game is not very often.
Yep.
Like, it's usually if you've got some bit of a hand there, you're going for the kill there on the turn in that spot just to deny equity to that kind of hand that Bones has, which Gordon G says if Sparks doesn't laugh between pre-flop action and the flop, he wins that hand. So, okay, maybe that's the God on read.
Yeah, I did think that was quite interesting, and Gordon definitely picking up on that. I was feeling similarly that when someone calls you out for doing something that they think is like unorthodox, or even if it's just standard, right? Like go for a check raise and somebody just like starts needling you or starts being like, oh yeah, you're going to check raise me, buddy? Like you can't bet your own hand, or says something like that. Giving them any sort of like a shrug or like a whatever, or like any reaction whatsoever can convey information. And
hey, we got our friend Skull Mike here in the chat. Says I roll up 2 J's in the morning and I smoke 2 at night. Well, that sounds like kind of an underachiever, but you know.
Well, he smokes 2 in the morning and smokes 2.
Okay. You forgot about lunch too. So hey, welcome Skull Mike. Welcome you here out to the TCH live streams. All right, Pierre putting in a 3-bet. Sparks stuck here out of the straddle, facing Pierre's 3-bet. Mike Eli opening here from the hijack up to 75. And we'll see. Maybe does Sparks go for the cold fort skis? Not totally impossible, and he may just opt to do so. Bam. 4-bet town.
Right back on the horse for Sparks here.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, he does just have that data point, like instantly, 2 hands before or whatever, where it was like he couldn't beat ace king with his 4-bet. But this time, it's going to get through, and Pierre with the king-queen not going to play this one out of position, so he'll take it down. We'll move right along.
Yeah, Jeremy, our big winner thus far, getting that massive three-way pot that was about $1,000, or there should be $11,500 in it, is probably capped at. And again, it was pocket sevens on a 6-high board between Mike Eli with king-queen offsuit and Boots with ace-5 suited, and board just didn't run out in Boots' favor, and he was able to win at showdown. So that, an unorthodox way to scoop a $11,500 pot, but that is, we quote, say hashtag Texas Poker. You just love to see it.
You do. And all of you do as well, because you're watching. And if you love it enough to continue watching tonight and every other night, help us out. Hit that like button. Give Mikey a little bit of the old broth bomb
350 is
lubrication.
what like we're close to it, but we're running out of time, folks. The clock is winding down. It's 2 minutes to midnight, as Iron Maiden would say.
Yeah, I think
not
we're.
Quite, but that's not inaccurate. I'm not a good judge of time.
No, but I think you are definitely fading the broth bomb at this point.
It really is. It would seem like I'm a heavy favorite to avoid having to do tequila and chicken broth here tonight. You know, there have been upsets in the past, so I'm not quite counting all my chickens before they hatch here. That's bet put out here by Jeremy.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. CC asking a question. I would say Georgetown. No, that's going to continue here on TCH Live Monday edition. Tomorrow night and Wednesday up in Dallas. 5, 10, 20 on Tuesday night in D-Town. It's always crazy. Wild card Wednesday. Who knows what it's going to be? Probably 2-5 though. I think imagine this week. And
sounds right.
Sounds about right. And Aaron back here for 2-5. Joe, who are you going to have this week, or is that to be determined yet?
TB Dizzle. Yep. Although I'm always looking to get new, fresh faces, fresh voices in the booth.
I mean, if you guys see somebody out here on the felt that you would actually be like, hey, you guys should bring him in, I think you should leave a comment. I've asked Chaz. Chaz is not. He's like not quite ready to pop on into the commentary booth yet.
Super producer Carolyn has an idea for me.
Ooh,
and
yes.
I also have a couple of ideas for folks, and I don't know. It's always a matter of scheduling and whether or not someone is going to be trying to play the game or whatever.
They have plans or.
But yeah, I think it's always kind of tricky to find someone who's like interested as well.
It's also like somebody who trusts to be charismatic enough that you're just going to be pulling teeth, which has never really happened here. So, like, I always appreciate the fact that when I have you on here, I never have to sweat. It's going to be a fantastic show.
Hell yeah, brother.
As we've got a 3-bet by Sparks, a 4-bet here by Jeremy with a couple of ones. Pierre had started the party here with pocket nines, upping it here to 125, and this is probably just going to get fooled straight through unless Sparks woke up this morning feeling dangerous, which what's going to be about 700 more to him in a pot of 1,900. Would he maybe take a shot at this to see if he can kind of flop big? It's pretty.
Yeah, definitely not a 5-betting hand. You block nothing, but even though you play it out of position, when your opponent puts in a cold 4 like this, it screams strength, and especially Jeremy, who hasn't done a lot of 3 and 4 betting. So I think Sparks is playing this one just as like, dude, if I connect and I hit something, like I'm gonna get paid off because I think my opponent's got something.
This is a big hand.
There's 1 diamond and then 1 8, so Sparks does make a pair. It is also possible, right, in Sparks' mind that Jeremy could have ace-king. He's going to check it over, find out if Jeremy wants to continue betting and telling his story. Jeremy going to do the old double check, like, do I have a club, which is curious. He's going to check once he discovers that, yes, I do have a club. Another jack peels off, and he might have just thrown up in that mask a little bit in case his opponent had a jack. Now he has 3 of them. However, of course, he doesn't always have a jack. But when you give a free card and the top pair on the board, like the one reasonable card that you would expect your opponent to maybe continue with pairs, you just kind of go like, did that just really happen? Is this real life?
Did that happen?
It is real life, and Jeremy does still have the best hand. So Sparks now trying to figure out what he wants to do with his second pair. And if this wasn't a 4-bet pot, I would say you would just want to check and get to showdown. As it stands, it is a 4-bet pot, and he's going to go ahead and fire out a little probe here and find out what's going on.
School Mike asked, you guys do tequila shots with a splash of Purell? Dude, we don't degrade ourselves with Purell. We go to the top of line. We go to all pure hand sanitizer. If we're going to mix that in with some tequila, don't insult me like that. Purell, get the fuck out of here.
All pure or nothing.
Yeah, I mean, come on. We got standards here on this show.
Wow, and if that wasn't a jack on the turn, some other innocuous card, Jeremy would have gotten sucked out on. As it stands, Sparks has 3 pair. Jeremy with the superior 2 pair.
Yes, 4.1K there.
Sparks.
Does he go for, say, like half pot? I mean, could he also realistically be... Okay.
I think
I'm thinking he's worried about like a check raise in the spot, is he? This hand has worked out in such a bizarre fashion.
Yeah, I think here you need to go for value and you need to go big. If you're going to bet, you need to make it look like an ace-king trying to get you to fold. You don't want to make it look like, oh, call me, call me, call me, call me. This is the call me bet, and I don't know, Sparks is probably going to be like, how do you ever bet this with ace-king? Like 1,800? You think I'm going to fold to 1,800 with ace-king? It can't be that, so if it's not that, then it's got to be value. What are your value hands? Aces? Aces. You have aces? And that's the question, right here and now, for Sparks. And he's looking up at the sky and he says, does he have aces? Is it aces and only aces? Is that really the answer to the equation, the solution, the one and only solution?
Okay.
And look at
we're drifting down. We're drifting down a weird spot here. I kid.
You're kidding?
No, yeah, I am. But.
Oh, he's calling.
Oh,
but he did. He scrunched
here.
up his eyes, and you could tell that that's what he was thinking. He's like, you literally only have aces here? I don't believe it. I have to call.
And that was the second time, I think, this evening that Sparks had gotten himself in a hairy spot there with 8-7 suit. Didn't he have a hand earlier against, I think, either boots, where he paid off like a big bet on the end, I think, with, or it may have been another player and somebody else, but at least the second time this instance where 2 pair on the board with an 8 gets paid off by a lesser hand. We're at the 4-hour mark, so we're starting to get a little murky here. Like,
It'll happen.
We've not been doing much drinking here.
Words are hards, and just like maintaining attention is hards.
You fellas been doing a bit of boozing, have you? Sucking back on Grandpa's old cough medicine?
I always get accused of being drunk on the show, and I'm like very in the small percentage of the time being the case. But
No.
I will make props so like we do hit all the time. Just walk around, you wake up and you're drunk. I don't know. I feel like if we had the total alcohol consumed on the show, I don't think it. Oh, okay. It's just I just sound belligerent. I just sound that tired, so people just assume I've been like.
Hitting the hooch. All right, this is our last hand of the evening, which means that it's time for the massive straddles to come out.
Yeah, it's
as
time.
We've got a $100 straddle from Big Daddy Chaz and a $200. $350 from Eli there. Super producer Carolyn was walking me through what the.
Are you gonna get Mike Eli's tree fitty?
His tree fitty. Yep, he's got to put his tree fitty.
God damn you, woman! I ain't paying no tree fitty.
Sparks here, ace, queen offsuit on the button, and he's getting right back into the mix. So he has played like 80% of these last hands of the evening. And Eli just going to pile it in with ace, jack 10 of spades, and Sparks. Like, I mean, really? Yeah, call, of course. King high flop, no spades in sight. 7 of spades on the turn. Gonna need to be a jack or a 10.
It's not.
Jinx.
That's good timing there. So, okay, at VPIPs, your ream stays right on the Lottie line. Everybody else north of that is our last hand. Certainly was an action-packed one, so this is where we round third and head for home. Aaron McAvoy and Mike Emblett for Carolyn Hapgood, a producer. And the words of the great Mike Sexton, may all your cards be live and your pots be monsters. Join us for TCH Live Dallas Tuesdays and Wednesday. Back here in Austin on Thursday with AA Ron. Good night, y'all.
Good night, everybody.
Jamie.
You used to play in Austin a bunch.
Oh, yeah.
San Antonio.
Yeah.
Going?
Yeah.
Yeah.
San Antonio now?
Queen.